Hey gamers, welcome back to a brand new DSP video. That's right, we're gonna be watching this bullshit. I'm kind of surprised there was something I wanted to talk about in this podcast. I'm gonna be real. I did not expect a Sunday podcast was gonna be filled with stuff to talk about. I know, crazy, right? Especially after I anticipated this podcast was gonna be like painfully boring. It really is like DSP is he just wants to do stuff like against your expectations, even if it for whatever reason like you expect it to be boring, he will like just be weird about it. Like it's not like this wasn't a super fun podcast to be fair, but there is some stuff here that's like but let's get into it. Let's fucking go.
Personally, I had a great Friday and Saturday. I got to
Great
spend
Friday.
a ton of time with my wife, Kat, which I've wanted to do for a while. We did a ton. We went out and
I love he
had
says
an opportunity
I want
to
to hang out
celebrate.
with Kat for a while, but he has a day off every week and he sees her every day. Like his entire schedule is based around seeing Kat, and he also like goes out on walks with her. So like it's so weird. He's really acting as if like Kat's gonna die soon. Like this is like been a long running like nonsense of like does DSP think Kat's gonna die? Like even before the DMs, like he's been acting as if like she's gonna go away, like she's gonna fade away. To compare it to anime, it's like in Gurren Lagann. Spoilers for the greatest anime of all time. Where Nia is like, yeah, I'm gonna like fade away after we do this, Simone. Okay, that's just how it is, and he's just like, it is what it is. We'll do all this stuff. You're gonna fade away, but we'll have the memories. Whatever. Like that's like DSP. He's like, hey, Kat, you're gonna fade away. That's fine. We'll have the memories of walking to the mailbox. Because apparently, I think he walks to the mailbox. But what's added a little funny bit. He said in this podcast that he was expecting a delivery from Amazon. I wanted to research. I was gonna research why would Amazon hand off a package to USPS, because I think it's because with FedEx, UPS, and probably Amazon's own courier service, if they don't find any value on delivering something, they just won't do it, and they'll defer the package to someone else, and that is usually them deferring it to USPS. So Amazon probably is like, yeah, I don't want to deliver it on Sunday for whatever reason. So they hand it off. I think it's something like that, because I know that's what they said about like these private companies is like, if they don't find it valuable or worthwhile to deliver a package, they'll just hand off the package to someone else to do it, basically. But anyways, that's how I brought that up. He said he was expecting a package. So it's very obvious to me that this walking with my wife is just, let's go to the mailbox to see if the package is there anyway. That's all it is. Anyways, let's play this.
Our anniversary a week late, but we still got to celebrate it in our own way, doing a lot of fun stuff. We had some great food.
Now it's funny that everyone has been saying like, oh, why do we have to celebrate his birthday the day of, but the anniversary waits a week or whatever? And part of me could have said, well, you see, it's because of her work schedule. However, you can like really tell her work schedule just on the sole fact of Jasper. I've said this before. The days you see Jasper in the office, she's at work. When he's not in the office, she's home. So you can kind of like guess when she's at work and when she's home. So I don't believe Jasper was in the office was he the Friday before, but whatever, right? He could have celebrated that week, but guess what? He wasn't gonna have Smart Guys with Jahul. So he needed the 2 days off when Jahul was on So that way, any drama blowback that would have been caused would have been, it wouldn't have worked, right? Because let's say he does the Jahul podcast Thursday, and then Friday comes, he starts stream. Then everyone in chat starts calling him out for having drama on Smart Guys. Or he has fucking PPP, watch the video, fueling more reactions, or whatever the fuck to it. Well, guess what? He had it off that day. Now, of course, you could also argue the funniest thing about this 2 day off situation, you know what? Before I get ahead of I keep getting ahead of myself. Let's just say the reason why the 2 days off was this week and not last week was honestly, in my opinion, Gahul. Jahul, Gahul, Gabagool, that guy. That fucking guy. Now, of course, he did not have 2 days off that week, but I don't know, right? But I think he kind of got a little, he says that Gahul had like a family emergency. Now, I don't know Gahul's situation, but I don't remember seeing a wedding ring. Did he have to go to his parents? Or was there something going on? But he said there's a family emergency. And I'm just sitting there like, you know what? DSP lies like a lot. He's a liar. He is the dumbest liar imaginable. I don't think Gabagool had a family emergency. Yeah, I think it was DSP who canceled it because he got cold feet. He got cold hooves.
Food.
Okay.
We went shopping.
Baby shopping.
Which was actually really nice because we haven't had a chance to do that in a while. And so we got some stuff for the house. We got some stuff for ourselves.
Wow.
We had amazing food. We had some more like healthy sandwiches. I had like a fish sandwich somewhere that was really good. With like jalapenos and coleslaw and all kinds of stuff.
Now
we had
Now I'm gonna be very mean about this fucking guy. So last week he was like, "Yeah, what are we gonna do with my anniversary? We're probably gonna get sushi because Kat loves sushi. We'll get whatever Kat wants, and she likes sushi." Guess what? They had pizza. So we could not even get sushi for his wife. Now, of course, Kat could have said, Phil, I want pizza. But every time I've heard Kat pick, I don't know, Kat's food opinion has shifted all over the place. It really is to the point where I think DSP just kind of like really does not know how to talk about his wife. It's really weird. It's kind of dumb. He makes you want to think about what she's doing all the time, every time. And I don't know, I've never met a single person like that makes me think about this, right? But DSP is the guy that puts it out there.
Breakfasts. We had breakfast a couple days in a row. We had breakfast,
confirmed.
which usually we don't have a time to really do breakfast, but we had omelets and all kinds of fun stuff there. And then we had a amazing breakfasts. We had breakfast a couple days in a row. We had breakfasts, which usually we don't have a time to.
Usually we don't have a time. Dude, there are so many things. I'm a little burpy today. I'm a little gassy. I had a bagel with Kat or whatever. I mean, whatever, right? But I kind of like, I'm repeating myself here, but I fucking hate how this guy talks about how he needs to spend so much time with Kat. Like, really, it's like she's gonna die. Like, is she gonna die soon? Maybe she did, and we just don't know it. It's so annoying. It's so annoying.
Time to really do breakfast, but we had omelets and all kinds of fun stuff there. And then we had a amazing pizza from a wood-fire pizza place.
What about sushi? Kat loves sushi. I thought
great food for a couple of days.
It's so annoying, right? Because he talks about her and sushi as if that is the one food Kat loves and that's the only thing she eats. But then you have other segments where it's like, yeah, guys, Kat wants to eat brought something up about Jersey Mike's or whatever the fuck. Clearly, because she has other tastes than fucking sushi. But every time, every offhand, like, idea that they have, it's always sushi, sushi, sushi. As if that's all she does. And eats. Like, I really hate how this dude talks about her to the point where it's like, she needs to leave that house. Like, it's so annoying. And then, like, the video games. Oh, she hates Persona 3. She got bored, so now she's playing shovelware. Oh, cool. She didn't know how to play Mario Kart. What a dumb bitch, right? Like, she doesn't understand the expansion pass system. But I don't get it either. Both of these people are, like, so stupid. I don't get it. And this is stuff that is, like, easy shit to understand. He's more confused. They were both more confused about Mario Kart 8 on the Switch than fucking taxes. And you'd think that taxes would be the thing that would confuse the both of them. But no, we hear more confusion over Mario Kart. How do I get these extra maps?
We went to a ton of places, like, not even gonna go through it, just a few stores and things like that, you know what I mean?
Oh, they
But it
went to
was nice, you know,
stores?
we got some stuff
I
at the
thought that's
house.
for errands.
Then we got to stay home and relax a bunch. Although we did take opportunity
Like,
to do some stuff around.
these day offs, like, I have bitched about this so much. And because it's so fucking annoying. This dude is like, yeah, my day off, I have to go all over the place, do errands and all this other shit. But then other days, like, yeah, I did errands, I sat at home and watched TV with my dumb wife. Like, that, it's so annoying. He wants to pretend as if that when he does day offs, it's crazy hectic, and he's like, he never got a chance to sit down. Like he went to New York, and he's walking around fucking New York City, planning subways, taxis, metro, all this stuff. He's acting as if when he does errands, he's planning to go see a play in New York. He has a plan out, like, all this stuff to get there. And then, in reality, it's just, yeah, I went to Costco. Yeah, I went there. Then I went home. That's it. I mean, sure, the days where they have to, like, have actual appointments, I guess would be kind of, like, annoying. But it's really obvious. He does have these appointments every day off. Like, it's so annoying to bitch about this when it's not the whole day. And then he still gets to hang out with his dumb wife, and he's acting as if, like, he never sees her. He really loves, like the narrative where the husband has to go to work and he stays in the office so long that the wife is like, we don't get to see you because you're in the office all day. But guess what? He doesn't have that lifestyle. If anything, Kat's the one that goes to work and has to deal with overtime, probably. More so than him. And he's acting as if spending 15 minutes overtime is as cruel and, like, overworking as people who have to spend hours over their work day. And this dude loves pretending. He loves pretending as if he's busting his ass. Then he has other days where he's like, yeah, I know I'm lucky. Yeah, I know this is, like, an easy job. Yeah, I get it. I appreciate this, man. This is so cool. But then he sits there like, dude, this is so hard. Dude, why don't you just fucking cut to the chase and find a bucket of bleach? I don't know.
Stuff around the house, and, you know, cleaning and stuff like that. We played with Jasper Kitty a bunch.
Oh, wow, you play with a cat!
Overall, a nice couple of days.
Okay.
Although we did take opportunity to do some stuff around the house.
I just love playing with Jasper. Sounds like a chore. I just love the idea that playing with Jasper is a chore to him. You know, the fucking pet that they love and they love the responsibility. Yeah, I play with them during the day off. I had enough time. I squeezed them in.
House, you know, cleaning and stuff like that. We played with Jasper Kitty a bunch. You know, watched some TV. It was just overall a nice couple of days, which is needed, especially when you work as much as I do. To actually have some time to spend with the family is much appreciated.
Dude, shut up.
Today,
like,
it's funny
again,
back.
He sees these dumb people and a cat every day. Every day. He sees Jasper in the office, then he gets annoyed with him too, because, you know, it's a fucking cat. Sometimes cats can, like, get to you, but at the same time, it's a fucking cat. But this dude really acts as if he's hunched over a little cubicle and his boss won't let him out. He's like, I should have been out 10 hours ago. I should have been home 10 hours ago. But he sits there in his little playroom for 15 minutes overtime, and he's acting as if the job is like grinding the pace. It's really like I'm kind of surprised we don't get the fucking, yeah, man, I feel for these people who are going through crunch at their jobs and they don't get to see their family. I get it, man. I crunch myself in this room all day playing video games. These people would probably like fucking hate him way more than anyone else that I could imagine. Like, oh my god, like this is the kind of guy that these CEO bigwigs think of the little guy. They think that like these people who shut remote work, they picture this guy. Yeah, these people who do remote work, that's them. And in reality, they're not. They do more work than DSP ever does in a fucking hour, and they just think this is what the average remote worker looks like, and it's not true. Because they have a job and they are more productive than DSP is. Yes.
Back and people are, oh, why are you working on Easter?
Oh my god, dude. So this is the part. This is the part that is so funny to me, right? So Cat's at home because I don't see Jasper Kitty in the office. Secondly, he planned for 2 days off. Why couldn't you have Saturday and Sunday off? Why does Friday need the day off? Why not Saturday and Sunday? It really is like he just simply forgot when Easter is and he doesn't care. Now, I'm an idiot, and I'm not a very religious person, but I'm Greek Orthodox, right? Correct? I think my Easter moves around because we base it off of some other fucking thing. Meanwhile, I think like the Catholic Easter, isn't Catholic Easter like the same day every year? Like they don't really change that much. I don't know. Maybe I'm dumb. I'm ignorant when it comes to this stuff because I don't give a fuck about Easter, honestly. Yeah, I said it. But it's fine. You know, celebrate what you want to celebrate. You know, I'm not gonna tell you what to celebrate except for the holidays I want you to celebrate. Celebrate Automaton Day. But anyways, you know what I'm saying. But anyways, this dude did not even know Easter was Sunday, and then it was like, yeah, I don't care, whatever. What? Today was Easter. Like he I don't think he cares. This dude talks more about his religion and doesn't know when Easter is. Me, who doesn't know anything about anything, at least can, like, understand or look at a calendar and be like, oh, Easter is this Sunday. Oh, okay. But okay, whatever.
Off. Oh, but it's a holiday. Okay. Allow me to explain something.
Oh my god, listen to this.
And it's funny because I'm back and people are, oh, why are you working on Easter?
Yeah, why
I just had 2 days off. Oh, but it's a holiday.
Why can't you have 2 days off Saturday and
Allow
Sunday?
me to explain something. As you get older,
oh my god,
you come to realize this, and perhaps if you ever get the opportunity to be your own boss, this will be even more apropos.
Dude, all he had to say was, yeah, I know today's Easter, but I still wanted to work because I had 2 days off, and like, you know, Easter is still on a Sunday, like, you know, whatever. Or he could just simply say, I don't care. But again, I think he's low-key a little traumatized after making a zombie Jesus joke that drove the Dutch brothers away, and now he has a new religious guy, Flatman B, and he probably doesn't want Flatman B to be Flatman mad. But I don't think Flatman will care because he's an idiot.
Okay. Literally, holidays are just a date. Do you get that? Like,
oh my god,
it's not the fact that today is Easter.
Remember when his birthday was just the day? He would be an extra victim mode about it. So he'd be like, yeah, man, you know, everyone cares about their birthday, but to me, man, it's just another day. Like, he made it sound as if he was so special that he did not see his birthday as a holiday. And now it's an event to hype up to make money, and then act surprised about making money on your birthday.
I should have taken today off to celebrate Easter with my family because it's so important to have it on that day.
Why don't...
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter? Oh,
what matters?
I'm stupid. I forgot to play this part. Let's see. 54:27. There is one part of the cold open. I think it's in the cold open.
What is going on, everyone? DSP here, and welcome back. After 2 days away, it's time to start a 6-day streaming week of goodness here on DSP Gaming. And on today's show, we've got a lot to get caught up on, including what I did during my days off, too. And I've got a game plan for it. Plus, of course, we want to talk about...
I loved he hyped up a game plan when all it is like what everyone else is doing for the Switch 2 is just going on a computer and hitting refresh. Yes, what a game plan.
About all the fun stuff coming up this week and an update on Sky Oblivion now that Elder Scrolls more on today's week.
Oh, he didn't see it. Sky Oblivion. Oh, man. He made that post like
20th
really
of April, 2025.
no
To some, today is Easter. So happy Easter to everyone out there who celebrates it.
Remember, guys, Easter's just today. Happy Easter, guys! Yeah! By the way, it's just another day.
Whether it's a religious holiday for you, where Jesus Christ has risen from the dead, well,
did he?
Happy Easter to you. If it's just a family event where you have candy and you color and hide eggs and you do fun stuff that's spring related, well, happy Easter to you.
Okay.
To some, people just smoke weed today.
Why? Right? He's like, yes, they're just smoking weed. Why? Dude, every year, when it's 420, he does a weed joke. Oh yeah, I smoke it up, man. Oh, it's 420, smoke it up. Every year. The 1 year 420 coincides with Easter, he acts as if 420 doesn't exist. Because obviously he wants to highlight the fact that Easter is more important than getting high. If that's the case, then why even bring it up? Why bring it up?
I don't really get that one. But anyway.
I don't get that one. Okay, I'm gonna go full screen. I don't know what I'm just gonna type in, why do we celebrate 420? I wonder if like what is the some believe the holiday is representative of 420, a radio code that has been used for police to indicate marijuana. Others tie the holiday to Bob Dylan's song Rainy Day Women, number 12 and 35, with its refrain, everybody must get stoned, and the product of multiplying 12 by 35 is 420, according to PBS. Yes. So that is literally why we celebrate 420, and he doesn't get it. I found it on Google. I mean, it's not like a prestigious reason. It's not like, wow, wowie gee, we learned something new. It's just, it's just a joke. Like, it's funny because of the numbers, and there's so many things associated with that that's also, like, weed related, right? Like, a song mentions everyone must get stoned. 420 is a code from the police about marijuana. You could add numbers, and I guess a 420. Like, that's it. That is literally it. And he's like, why do people celebrate it? Why do people celebrate anything, right?
Anyway, I hope you're having a good day.
Yeah, my day sucks. Okay, not really. Alright. Let's see if I can find where I was.
Okay. Allow me to explain something. As you get older,
I've enjoyed the little derail there.
You come to realize this, and perhaps if you ever get the opportunity to be your own boss, this will be even more apropos.
Apropos.
Okay?
Apropos, you're
literally holidays are just a date. Do you get that? Like, it's not the fact that today is Easter, and so today.
But why do we celebrate? Like it's so stupid. Like, yeah, okay, of course, it's just another day. But, you know, there's a significance, Mr. I was raised Catholic. This dude, it's so ridiculous. He will hold his religion over everyone's head when he wants to shit on someone. EA saying that they're gonna donate to charity is stupid. I was raised Catholic, Orthodox, or just Catholic, whatever the fuck. Catholic, and we don't talk about bragging about donating. Blah 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 blah. And this dude is out be like, yeah, man, it's just another day. Like, you don't have to be this expert to just say, yeah, I could take the day off, but I didn't want to because I wanted to stream. He could even just said that. He could have just simply said that. Yeah, I don't really mind. I don't practice Easter that religiously or whatever. But he always has to sound like so cool, right?
In today off to celebrate Easter with my family because it's so important to have it.
This dude, oh my god. He was just bragging about spending time with his dumb fuck family. And now he's like mocking spending time on a holiday with your family. But guess what, guys? It gets even more annoying. When it's fucking Christmas, you know, Christmas. He's like, yeah, man, I gotta celebrate Christmas with my wife. Yeah, we're gonna watch Christmas movies. We're gonna sit, it's gonna be a family night of watching Christmas. Christmas. He loves Christmas to celebrate with his family. But guess what? Since that's a bigger holiday, and you know, again, Christmas, not only are you celebrating someone's birthday, but also you get presents. And it's a marketable holiday. It's more marketable than fucking Easter. So guess why DSP loves Christmas? Ah, yes. Presents, marketability, and fucking movies. What does Easter have? Just a rabbit, and chocolate, and eggs, and Jesus rising. But it gets beat the fuck out with Christmas. This is the kind of guy religious people would hate, honestly, because they're like, yeah, this guy only cares about Christmas. Well, he only cares because of the presents and all this other stuff. If this guy was truly religious, he'd love every religious holiday. But again, it doesn't matter what you celebrate, whatever. But this dude will always play it down because he can't just say, I don't care, or just say simply, I don't celebrate like Easter that much, like, you know, whatever. I don't know why it's kind of a weird position to be in, you know?
Have it on that day. It doesn't matter.
I guess it's just the tone.
What matters is having the time to celebrate with family and friends, having that time to recuperate, to have meaningful moments. That's what matters.
Okay,
the date doesn't matter. Get it?
But
it doesn't.
What?
You know, we didn't get to celebrate our anniversary on our anniversary because we were all busy, but we had a great couple of days where we celebrated together and had a ton of fun.
Oh my god. Oh my god, this is so dumb. He said, yeah, we can't celebrate our anniversary the week of, but we're gonna celebrate it next week. And now, he said, yeah, we just celebrate on the day of, so, like, you know, we spent time this week. I thought this week was supposed to be your anniversary celebration because you couldn't do it the week before. Okay.
Did it matter that it wasn't on the exact day? Of course it didn't. You know, some years I have my birthday off. Some years I work on my.
Dude, this is a lie, by the way, but this is really dumb. This is really dumb. Because, like, let's hear it again.
Where we celebrated together and had a ton of fun. Did it matter that it wasn't on the exact day? Of course.
Of course, yeah. Nobody's saying that you should, like, go to prison for not celebrating your anniversary the day of. But it's like, it's just the gesture. Again, if he's stuck by his narrative that, oh, I'm celebrating the anniversary next week because we can't do it this week, that's one thing. And people should understand that. I mean, again, you can't always get the day you want to celebrate anything, right? That just doesn't happen sometimes. But if you try to aim for it, the thing that gets the monkey wrench thrown into all of this is, guess what? DSP is his own boss. He could have had 2 weeks off, 2 days off the week before and have 1 day off this week or whatever. But he didn't. Now, of course, you could also argue that, well, Kat could have been working. Now, I'm very curious, right? If you find the day that is their anniversary, was Jasper in the room? Because if he was, she had a job and she can get the day off because Kat has an actual IRL job, unlike DSP. But if she didn't, then there was no excuse because usually DSP would have based his entire schedule off her day off, which is what is so funny that you guys have noticed how we completely stopped complaining about Kat's work schedule. You notice how we just stopped doing that? It's so funny to me, right? He made it seem as if like Kat could not schedule her days off at all and she was unable to do it at all, and her job would say, fuck you, eat shit, Kat, you're working today. But now suddenly, out of the blue, she was able to get consistent days off, which were Saturday. And now we don't have to hear DSP bitch about Kat's schedule, which is funny to me because he was probably bitching more than she was, and she has to go to work.
Of course it didn't. You know, some years I have my birthday off, some years I work on my birthday.
When did he have his birthday off? He never had his birthday off. The only way he would have his birthday off is if, let's say, his birthday was on a Saturday in current year. Then he'd have it off. But guess what? He wouldn't be taking the day off because it was his birthday. He'd be taking the day off because it's on his day off. That's literally it. That is literally it.
My birthday. It's fine. All you gotta do.
He never said, guys, I'm taking my birthday off because I want to celebrate my birthday. I think he may have done that like once ever.
Be sure that you are spending enough time with those that matter the most to you. And as long as you are, it doesn't matter what the actual day is, it's all good. But I just love how people come up with the weirdest things. I had 2 days off. Things. Why are you working today? Because I just had 2 days off.
Why couldn't you have...
I don't get it. You make your own schedule. Why?
Yeah, why couldn't you have Saturday, Sunday off? Why did he insist on Friday, Saturday, not Saturday, Sunday? Huh?
Why not have a third? Why not have a fourth? Why not have a 7 days in a row? Why not?
Oh my god, dude. This is really annoying coming from the guy who told us that he was like dreaming of having more than 1 day off. This dude has pre-stream saying, yeah, man, I wish I could have 2 days off. I wish, man. But now he's like, yeah, why would I have more? It kind of sounds like bullshit. Like he could in my opinion, I think he could have 3 days off if he wanted to. He just doesn't want to because, you know, he wants the most money as possible.
Why not have 2 months in a row? Why work ever again? Oh yeah, because I'm not rich. Because I actually do need to work to earn a living. It's that simple. Oh. When you are someone who puts out meaningful, positive content,
I see.
You have to be putting it out at a regular pace.
Oh so my god, come by dude. How do you make meaningful, positive content like he says as if it's like a little like button you push? What if I don't find your content meaningful or positive?
And support said content.
And then I like that it's like a criteria. In order for your content to be meaningful and positive, you have to upload at a scheduled time. You have to do it 6 times a week or whatever the fuck, etc., etc. That's not necessarily true. You could like, you know, upload a video a year, and that could still be meaningful, positive.
Content. It's not like I'm some e-celebrity that people just open their wallets and toss thousands of dollars at every time that I get on stream.
Technically, he is, though. He now gets an hourly rate. I was going to say weight. Like, yeah, hourly rate. Rage. Oh my god, I'm like mixing up words. An hourly wage, an hourly rate, whatever the fuck, on Kick. Every time he starts streaming. You know, this is the thing that he would honestly, he would shit on people for that, right? He has done that. Yeah, these streamers, they start streaming, and they gather money, and then they hit stop stream. That's what he does on Kick now. He worked for that, by the way. He wanted that little feature, and he got it. Like I knew you would. Like once that is taken away from him, and he can't make money on Kick, Kick is gonna go away. He never does stuff for free. Like honestly, notice how everything he used to do for free is now paid for. DSP Trice, he used to do it for free. Well, free. Now it's just a goal reward that like fucking pressures Dents to hit. So you know, it is what it is. This streaming used to be fan service, not anymore. Everything that became fan service got killed. Like it's so funny. Like over the years, he was, yeah, I'm doing this never fan service, and then like within a week it's gone. And he never does it again. Like the suggestion box. That was fan service, and then he killed it because fuck you.
I'm not a harmful individual who sets out to either lie and shill to you constantly so you'll spend money on paid sponsorships and products, or sits here bullying people on the internet constantly and you get your jollies off on it.
He got his jollies off of doing the thing with fucking Gahul, though. He literally got his jollies off. He was so happy Gahul was like telling him about all this stuff about PvP. He loved it. He fucking loved it. And I was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna get my jollies off for fucking drama, guys. Oh, yes.
On it. Instead, I actually have to like work. Get it? And I'm happy with my job. I'm happy with who I am, and
he's happy with who he is.
I'm really happy that I got to spend time with my wife for 2 straight days. And there'll be more of that from time to time. It's not going to be every week. Like I said, this week, it's going to be a 6-day streaming week.
Okay.
Try to, jump back into it full force and get into the swing of things after having that.
This is stupid because he's going to have 2 days off, like what, every month? Like once a month, he's going to take 2 days off. And he's acting as if like it's not a planned thing.
Extra time off. It's all good. But in reality, I don't have to justify anything. But I am me.
You are.
And I do things my way.
You are just
that's that.
This is dumb to say, I don't have to justify it after he fucking justified it. Wow. Cool, man.
Maybe some people do things differently and that's all good.
Now it's all good that we do things differently. He literally said that he's not evil shilling things. I was gonna say shilling people. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean. Like, he just said that that's evil. Shilling things and having people buy stuff, that's evil. But now he's saying, well, if you do something different, that's fine. But then he also spent time saying, it's just another day. This dude has the knack of saying something that he may know on some degree may come off as offensive, so then he starts to course correct by the end of it. You realize you don't have to do this, right?
I'm not miserable. I'm not jealous. I'm actually pretty well off and sitting pretty right now. Feeling good about myself. Feeling good about my...
Whoa, buddy.
I enjoy where I am in life. I'm happy. I'm not miserable. I'm not jealous. I'm actually pretty well off and sitting pretty right now. Feeling good about myself. Feeling good about my content and everything that I do.
Can you just
so thank you guys very much for that. Allowing me to do what I love. And thanks for letting me have a couple days off.
I hate his fucking hand gestures. Just this, that. Just fucking shut up. Shut your arms off.
Nice. Feeling good about my content and everything that I do. So thank you guys
What's
very
there
much
to feel
for
good
that,
about?
allowing me to do what I love. And thank.
Do you allow them to even take a break? This dude got $2,000 on his Christmas stream. Oh my god, his birthday stream. After that, guess what? He pressured them to give him more money and all this other stuff. Is that like why do you let them like relax? Why do we need to hit goals on certain days, right? Okay.
And thanks for letting me have a couple of days off with my wife. It was very nice.
And then I love he says, thank you for letting me have a couple of days off. Dude. In what reality do we have a say in when you have days off? Like, he acted as if like he asked his chat, guys, can I have Friday and Saturday off? No, you told us you were having this. I hate this. Thank you for letting me bullshit. It's just the fakest gratitude I've ever seen. Because he knows that, yeah, technically they allow him to have this as his job. Sure. But you're not sincere. And you're not genuine. Because guess what? When people say he should try harder, he gets mad about them. He gets mad at them. When he came up with that dumb fuck idea about Cologne, he was so mad and buttered that his chat wasn't clapping. And then he was demanding that they give better ideas. But dude, you're asking for feedback. The quality of feedback, sure, it could be annoying, but you asked for it. You could just either ignore it or read other stuff, but he wasn't. He was ignoring other stuff. He ignored the MREs. Now, I don't think he knows what those are, or if he does, I think he only knew if people asked him, do you know what these are? And then he would, but if he sees them in chat, he's so, like, it's like he disassociates from the world when he reads his chat. It's so annoying. It's so, he's such a bad faith guy. He just reads stuff in bad faith all the time. It is so annoying. It's like what made the suggestion box just so obnoxious. He would read a suggestion and think that the dude is telling him that he should drink bleach. Like, he thinks that's the guy giving him feedback. And it's like, why don't you just read it at face level, at face value, and just assume it's good feedback? He reads it. He read an entire suggestion saying that he should talk with his wife and be more like, and have more stuff to do with his wife. And he thought that the guy was asking for too much. That he was asking that they should take Xanax and like fucking suck each other off on stream. Like, nobody was saying that. And he says that all the time. So this whole like thank you for allowing me, it's just bullshit. It's just empty. It's just PR damage control nonsense. All of the bad traits of companies when they try to market something, it's all like funneled into this guy as a being. Every time he talks to his audience, it's just bad faith. It's so insincere. It is the embodiment of corporate what do they call it? Like, you know, like when Pride Month comes around and all these companies pretend that as if they fucking care, but they really don't, like Disney. That's DSP. Every day. He acts as if he cares about his fucking audience and he cares about what they have to say and he's so grateful to them. But then when they start to have a little baby back against baby backbone against DSP's nonsense, he treats them like they're bullshit. And he takes them for granted all the time. So this fake sincerity always gets to me because it's like he doesn't care. He doesn't give a fuck about them. Like, at least a company, like at least Disney, I can understand why they're being fake. I can understand why all these companies like play Pride Month with everyone. I can at least understand that. But this guy comes on stream and has the nerve to say he's real to the audience and all this stuff and be fake to you. It's so shallow. The lie he gives his audience is so shallow. Like, anyone with a brain could see through it. But then when you see a company that's like very obviously shallow, it's like, okay, yeah, but they're trying to get people to like promote their shit or whatever. And it's like, okay, I can understand that. It's just nasty. It's just nasty.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Okay. So, let's talk about what went down on Thursday because it was a great streaming day.
Oh, sure. I bet it was.
Great support, great everything. Honestly, we actually determined what our goals.
Great everything.
Or did we? Well, we narrowed it down.
Or did we?
We'll talk about that. Okay. And then I want to talk about today, and then of course we're going to jump into the whole.
Okay. Again, why do we need a schedule for the podcast they are going to talk about? Why not just talk about it? Like, I only do a video schedule if I have like multiple videos that I want to get through. But I'm not going to sit there and say like, oh, I'm going to talk about this, then that, then this.
Great day. You know, we started off with a nice chill podcast with some fun topics, and then we jumped into Blueprints. And
oh my god,
I really like Blueprints. I think
ridiculous.
It's a very unique, fun.
This thing, Blueprints and Disco Elysium, is so annoying. So Blueprints gets a lot of money, and he's like, I can't believe, I can't believe this game gets a lot of support. Blah blah blah. He's like doing backflips and he's happy. Disco Elysium gets a lot of support, and he's just like, he's like, honestly, every time you talk about Disco Elysium, it's really like he's begging his audience to tell him to drop it. He's begging them, please tell me to drop it so I can drop it, guys. But he can't. He can't.
Fun puzzle game Never really played a game like it
And then
before.
this bullshit is so annoying. He told us for years, I hate puzzles. I hate puzzles. Fuck puzzle. Like everyone brings up Catherine, and everyone say the obvious. Theo, he hates Catherine because of anime and women and waifus. Sure, that is part of the reason, but if you go back even further, when he started hating on Catherine again, like, a few years ago, he started off by saying, I hated puzzle games. And then he would add on the other stuff, but he did hate Catherine for what he says is because it was a puzzle game. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, you loved it for the puzzle aspect. But he said no, it's because of he hates puzzles and he also hates the anime aspect of it, which is bullshit, obviously, because he loves anime too. It's nonsense. But then the other thing he would say is, but then if he likes puzzles so much, right? Why does he hate puzzle bosses? Correct? You would think that Mr. I love puzzles will love puzzle bosses, but he hates it because guess what? It makes him look stupid. Zelda, that had puzzles. Zelda's always had puzzles. This dude was crying when Zelda Tears of the Kingdom had puzzle mechanics. And he hated it because it made him look stupid. When a puzzle makes him look stupid, I have a feeling he only likes oh my god. I was going to say Blue Dragon. Blue Prince is because he found a way to not look stupid and ask his chat for interaction, so it's like a stupid playthrough. What you like here? Huh?
It keeps you thinking. It's got all kinds of different stuff to do in it that has you not only solving puzzles but kind of linking things together from all around the
Like
mansion.
what?
Has a unique atmosphere. It has great relaxing music. I'm really enjoying my time with the game. I think I'm 7 parts in, but roughly it's around almost 9 hours of gameplay. And I'm not even kidding you. I'm actually can't wait to play again. I'm actually craving more gameplay as Blue Prince because it's such a unique game. So,
okay, so why don't you play
the funny
it?
part about it is,
okay, now we get to the funny part.
Here I am on Wednesday night, and I'm streaming the conclusion of Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii.
Oh my
And
god.
make no mistake, it's one of the least attended, least supported streams I've
Oh
done.
my god.
In ages,
Constantly
okay?
whining.
But I told everyone I knew that game basically wasn't getting much, eyes on it. And people were dying for that play through the end, so I'm glad that it finally did.
So, remember when he said that every time you guys skip it, I may skip it? And then he doesn't skip it. Of course.
I come back on Thursday and I play Blue Prince, and we've got crazy levels of support. We have people coming in dropping subs, people coming in doing big tips, big super chats.
I thought these were different audiences.
All for a puzzle game.
But whatever.
Right?
And then look at this. A puzzle game. Like, he's putting it down for being a puzzle game. Like, it shouldn't be making money because it's a puzzle game. You know other people stream this fucking game, correct? And presumably get support from their audience while they play the game. And this dude, he does this for a living, is acting surprised that Blue Prince got support. Oh, okay, wow, what a cool guy. And he's like, yeah, this game gets support, but not Like a Dragon. Even though that game was like played at night. And he always put the night stream down. He always put things down. Like, I don't know why he thinks this is a cool thing to say. But again, in DSP land, when you're being honest, you gotta be a little negative. You gotta be a little negative when you're honest. Because there's no way you can be positive and be honest. No way.
Puzzle game. It just goes to show, it doesn't really matter what I'm doing, right? People love the content.
It doesn't matter what he's doing. So then, if it doesn't matter what he's doing and people will support him, why does he shoot down certain games? It doesn't matter what I do, man. Okay, play Metaphor. No, man! I got no support! Oh my god! Okay, why don't you play, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2? No, guys! The first game, Kat said it was bad. So that forever tainted the franchise. I can't possibly try 2. Okay, DSP, why don't you, drink bleach? No, man! I don't have any! Oh, okay.
Content that I put out and support it, no matter when or where it is. There are some exceptions, and I feel like there are going to be games where they're just
There
not going
are
to hold that much of an
exceptions.
audience. I think Pirate Yakuza was one of them. I'm glad that it's over, but I did like the playthrough very much. I enjoyed it.
Oh my
Um,
god. And I
but in
also
the case
hate
of a game,
how this guy talks about fucking playthroughs. Like, you're just playing a game. Like, I don't think there's much like memorable things that come from any of his playthroughs, like, you know? But I had more memories of playing Persona 3 FES for the first time on stream. That was something. I played with a fight stick. I thought that was really cool. I used a fight stick to play that game. It was kind of fun. But of course.
of a game like Blueprints, it's chill fun. It's something unique and different. People come by and like it. Crazy. It was absolutely crazy because someone came by and like, dude, you got this much support for a puzzle game? I'm like, it's not necessarily the game. It's the vibe. It's the atmosphere. When I'm playing Blueprints, we're very much engaged with each other. We're talking about the puzzles. We're trying to figure stuff out together. It's just a really unique
Yeah, you're
feeling
asking them to
that
solve the
I'm very
puzzle for
much
you.
am liking.
Remember,
So
I don't remember what game it was, but there was a game where it says, guys, please let me try first, then I'll ask. And now he's just, what do I do? What do I do?
excuse me.
Excuse me.
Great stream of Blueprints back on Thursday. Like I said, looking forward to more. In our runs here, we're unlocking more and more rooms. We actually permanently solved the puzzle of the orchard, which means every single day we're going to have 20 bonus steps now. So,
Whoa.
To be frank, I don't think we're going to run out of steps anymore. I think it's more going to be reliant on running out of room in the mansion and stuff like that, like having dead ends. I think having 20 bonus steps, I don't think we're going to have any issues. So, can't wait for more. I wish I was playing it today, but I want to give equal kind of attention to Minecraft and Blueprints because people absolutely love Minecraft. Can't wait for more. I wish I was playing it today, but I want to give equal kind of attention to Minecraft and Blueprints because people absolutely love Minecraft and we're sad that it went away for so long.
Who was sad? Papa Vera?
But here's the truth. If Minecraft does start to slow down and or interest wanes, Minecraft will likely just become chill night streams for a while, and then we'll have other things fill in as a day stream. I think that Minecraft has done fine as a day stream for these first couple of streams, but we'll see how
I low-key kind of wish Papa Bear came back and demanded DSP show us what he did, because Papa Bear did a lot of work in the old Minecraft world. He like I had a running joke in my mind where like DSP locked him in and he never like released him from his little Minecraft world because he let him into his Minecraft world. I don't know how it happened, but he allowed him to like do stuff, and we never saw what he did, and we'll never know. Cat may know. Cat may know, but we will not even try. We won't even try to wheel out the Xbox Series X, plug it in, and load Minecraft. You won't even try to do that because you play on the Xbox One. But we won't even try to play it on the Series X, and we'll never know because that's Cat's Xbox now, and he doesn't want to carry it from downstairs to upstairs.
How it works moving forward,
Remember when you said that
we're heading to the 5th and 6th hours of this Minecraft run.
Remember when the Series S was like so cool, and now
so then
it sucks. And
Thursday night,
loving the Series
it was finally time for my pre-WrestleMania hype show of Smart Guys with special co-host Gahul. For those who don't know, because a lot of people didn't, Gahul is the former co-host of a pro wrestling commentary show. He used to do it with PPP until they had a falling out, and basically he kicked him off of that show, and then it just stopped being made. Yes, I'm not kidding you. PPP has now been kicked off of 2 wrestling commentary shows. He's just not very good at it, apparently.
Okay. I want everyone to think about the reason why he was kicked out of both shows. Because you'll notice a running theme, right? That he didn't get kicked out for his lack of knowledge. He got kicked out of both shows because he couldn't get along with the other guy. I don't know necessarily the drama between him and Gabagool. I don't know, and I don't know if I care to know. But he got kicked out of both because of drama reasons. It has nothing to do with wrestling. DSP is like, I guess he's not very good at it, but he wasn't kicked off because he didn't know his shit. He got kicked off because both hosts did not like him or they couldn't get along. That is completely different than what he's insinuating.
Apparently. 2 in a row. And both times for drama. History seems to be repeating itself. Okay? Anyway. I'm not here to rehash drama.
I'm just gonna argue that between the two shows, I kind of feel there was probably more drama and more like beef between PPP and Gabagool. I think those two probably had more reason to like beef and all that shit, because the stuff that drove PPP away from DSP is like petty and very minor, to the point where it's like it's just kind of funny and embarrassing for DSP, you know?
Or anything like that. You can go watch Smart Guys on the DSP Reacts channel on YouTube. That's at DSP Reacts right now in its entirety. The first hour was history and drama. And then we did 2 solid hours of
drama.
Great wrestling commentary. I'm getting feedback.
Drama. Again, we
that people felt Ga'Hoole actually.
We mocked PPP for bringing up drama. And again, we're praising the show for having drama. Ah, yes. Very cool.
He was the best host overall when it came to wrestling know-how and good takes on pro wrestling. However, he had the worst technical setup. For some bizarre reason, his internet connection with Discord kept getting very bad. And
He
kept sounding robotic and chopping up. And that sucks, because obviously when you're doing a wrestling commentary show, you need it to be consistent.
This dude like mocked Rich and all the other people for their setups, and then this dude has a bad setup, and he's like, well, you know, it is what it is, guys.
To be working, right?
Get it to be working.
It did suck that happened, but overall, I think the quality of the commentary was great. I think we had great chemistry going back and forth talking about wrestling. And it was a good show. So if you haven't seen it yet,
like that.
I hope that you'll check it out.
I don't know.
Now, the funny part about this is...
Okay, what's the funny part? Where am I going to laugh?
There are actual idiots on the internet saying things like, wow, Phil picked the worst co-hosts, and Phil just doesn't get it.
Who?
He had an opportunity, and he squandered it. Because he could have had Boogie or Wings of Redemption as one of...
Dude, who said this? I think the only reason why Boogie and Wings got brought up, the only thing, and this is like a stretch to a degree, is that he was originally trying to get them on the show. Right? So, but he kept typing these guests up as if he got Brad Pitt, though. Like, this is what's so annoying. He hypes these people up, like, this one in particular, he was like, yeah, guys, you're gonna be so surprised who I'm gonna get. And I'm like thinking, like, it can't be anyone big. Like, it's acting as if he got like fucking Brad Pitt to show up. And then it's Gabagool. And I'm like, who is this guy? And it's some other wrestling guy. Oh, okay.
He's one of the hosts. Or he could have continued into the sector and he could have had Mersh as a host. Or he could have had so-and-so or so-and-so. And this was the big opportunity. He had
okay, whatever.
All eyes on.
But I like how he says that you go further into the sector. Like, he acts as if it's like a career path. Being in the sector is a career path. I mean, they're already saying he's in the sector because the sector is lolcow shit. But okay, I mean, sure, man.
It's on him. To which I say, wow, you guys are really fucking stupid. You don't seem to get it. All right? You really don't. I don't care about drama. When I partake in internet...
He doesn't care about drama. That's why he went out of his way to get Rich on his little Level 666 podcast stunt and try to, like, do drama with him. He couldn't get it with Rich. That sounds very different, right? He couldn't get it with Rich. He then got it with Ethan and PB. Oh my god, he got it with Ethan and Ga'Hoole. And he also hyped up drama in the very same podcast. And now he's saying that he doesn't get any support or anything from drama. Then what were these things, Phil? If you don't care about drama, why did you run to Kino Casino to do work with them? Huh?
Internet drama. I don't get a boost of attention. I don't get any kind
He
of.
literally talked about how he got a boost of attention when he was with Kino Casino. This is like really, really pathetic. You can't say this when you literally like say you got 2 PCs during an arc with Kino Casino and all this stuff where people realized he had more viewers on Kick during this time, and then it like kind of fell off a little bit when he left. He did get a following from doing drama. He said so himself. And now he's saying that he never did. He never did.
Kind of positivity or support. My audience doesn't want it. It's a waste of time.
So what were these 8 months? Like, he says it's a waste of time, but dude, my guy, you literally spent 8 months playing around with Kino Casino. So you're admitting you wasted 8 months of their time. But also remember, this dude brags how he doesn't waste time, his audience's time. But now he's saying he wasted their time doing the 8 months of Kino Casino. And he got 2 things out of it, and Cologne. This dude is so fake. This is the shit that drives me insane. Listen to this guy. He does so much, brags about it, and says, I didn't do that. Like, he's actively gaslighting. Like, the fact that not a lot of people are like waking up in his own chat is insane. That's also driving me crazy how nobody in this chat is like realizing that this dude is gaslighting. Except for the LARPers.
I don't understand how people don't get this yet. Really, I don't. The people who came to this channel and gave me a boost of attention back in the fall were not my audience. My audience were telling me.
But they could have been your audience. Like, this is like really stupid. He had the opportunity, but since he didn't see them as an audience that he wanted to retain, he just saw them as free money to milk and then shoo them away from the farm. Like, that's how little he thinks of anyone who watches him. Just a means to an end, which is a bad way to look at people when you're making videos. And by the way, this is behavior he shat on Craig for acting this way. Yeah, these people came by and watched me during the Kino Casino arc, and they gave me money, but these were not my audience, so whatever, I don't care about them. Why would I want to retain them? I care about my real audience, who I made sure that they were to stick around during these 8 months of hell for them, so I could get gain. Like, this is like insane. It's already just confirming that he'll do anything. He'll sell out his own audience if he can get a gain from it. Then after that, he'll go back to them and say, guys, see, I love you guys so much. Really? You care for your audience so much. Oh, they hated me when I did the drama arcs. Then why did you do it for 8 months? It doesn't make sense. But it does make sense when you look at it from the perspective that DSP just wanted to milk all these people and he doesn't care. And guess what? He doesn't care.
What are you doing? This isn't good.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Now, again, I'm going to be very negative to this guy because he's a piece of shit. This dude was shitting on LTG for not wanting to play the game. He's like, yeah, LTG, he doesn't want to play the game. And that's crazy. There's part of me that either wants to do a stream or a video series of just watching all of these, like, specific level 1 podcasts where he did drama and all this shit And like, it is insane. It really is. Like, this dude has multiple personality disorder. Or he just simply forgot what he said. But honestly, it's just very simple. He doesn't believe in anything he says. Like, you have to like kind of pay attention and go through the doublespeak and find out what he truly believes and what's consistent. Because a lot of the times he does not believe genuinely what he's telling you. He can throw it out at a moment's notice if it benefits him. This dude is so slimy. This dude is a piece of shit. And honestly, this is, again, behavior he would shit on others for doing. Which he has. He has specifically shat on side scrollers for this very thing. Where, yeah, they got me on their little show. Then after that, they milked my detractors. Then they left them outside in the rain. He shat on them for doing that. And guess what? He did that too. And he won't see it that way because guess what? The viewers he left, he hated them and said these people are just drama mongers. But God forbid, Craig does the same thing to people who he hates, by the way. It's so funny how he cares so much about trolls wasting their money. But he did not give a fuck about having other people's trolls give him money during this time. He doesn't care. This guy is fake, and he sucks.
Is going down a path that we feel is leading you towards things we're not interested in, and we're nervous that you're gonna—
But when people told him that, guess what he told them? I'm not doing this all the time. I'm doing it sometimes, man. It's one thing if I do it all the time, but it's another if I do it whenever I want, right? And even after the Keynork was done, and before he got rich on his little show, DSP said, well, sometimes I want to make fun of Rich to make myself feel better. Again, this was after the whole thing with Kino Casino blew up, and he was, like, kind of done with it before he did the DM Leak stream. He wanted to, like, kind of have fun with it, and suddenly, now he's back to being against it. Meanwhile, he did drama during the wrestling show. It really is. Like, he'll tell you whatever he wants you to know. What you want to hear. He will tell you it's raining as he pisses on you. He'll take a shit on you and tell you it's hailing.
That you're going to get too involved in this, and that you're not going to be able to come back.
This is hail, guys.
Correct? Did that not happen? Leading you towards things we're not interested in, and we're nervous that you're going to get too involved in this, and that you're not going to be able to come back.
But
correct.
But guess what? As I said, I did that whole video discussing how the further we go away from the fucking Level 666 podcast, the more stupid it is. This dude said it was all snaking from him. But now he's saying that people were concerned, and that's what made him, like, do whatever, right?
Correct? Did that not happen? I had people who were longtime viewers and fans who said, we're sorry, we're going to have to say goodbye.
No.
And what I saw happening
didn't happen.
Me now having reliance on, quite frankly—
Who left during that segment, by the way? During those 8 months, who left? All that happened was Jade was crying. Every day. Me no like drama. Me no joy this. Like, crying, but he's still stuck around. The only person who left was Bloomkit. Because literally, Bloomkit saw the Level 66 podcast as what it was. Stupid and a waste of time. And an insult to intelligence. Because he thinks so little of the viewer. Like, he says that quiet part out loud so, like, throughout his entire career. He bitched about his Doom review not doing well on KO Gaming or whatever, and he said it was because the common YouTuber, the common viewer, is a dumb fuck. He says that all the time, and he thinks so little. And again, I said this before, there's a reason why I think he curated the dumbest chat imaginable. Anyone that starts to, like, apply basic critical thinking skills, they will get banned pretty quickly. Or they'll be bullied into being stupid again. Like, that's all it is. That's why his chat is full of people who will cave to any pushback from DSP and they'll eat it. They'll gladly eat whatever if DSP shits on them. It's either they are weak-willed and they can't stand up for themselves, or they generally get off to this. They get off, like it's, it could be a fetish, and DSP providing a service to them.
A pretty toxic audience of people who only would support me when I was doing drama content, which I didn't want to do constantly. So I got myself out of that situation. Get it? But the funny part is, doing Smart Guys the way that I just did, having the 3 hosts that I did, there was some drama. But you notice something.
Notice something. I just told you guys that we all hated drama, and you guys were begging me not to do drama. But I did drama. You noticed that, right? Oh my god.
It wasn't the focus. It didn't derail the show.
The show was like 2 hours longer than it needed to be to talk about fucking wrestling.
Content of the wrestling portions of the show was very good. Much better.
Dude. Go back and I... Because he said that the history and drama segment with Gahul was like 2 hours long. Now, compare that with the PPP segment, with the Grill Phil segments. Tell me which is longer. And tell me which is more, stupid. Because honestly, the Grill Phil kind of could have worked a little bit better in the sense that if DSP, grilled PPP back and did more, it could have been interesting. But guess what? He never did. He waited until PPP left the show, until he kicked him off, to then talk shit about him. Which, again, DSP has shat on other people doing to him for years. 4 fucking years.
Yeah, Craig had me on, and then he shut on me, I couldn't defend myself.
Guess what? DSP gets 2 people on. Google, I think in particular, is you would probably think in the back of your mind, if you didn't know much of the situation, maybe PPP should be on to kind of explain the situation. Again, there were things he was talking about that is holy shit, but wouldn't you want PPP to explain himself? Like this is the same shit. Imagine if someone leaves DSP, let's say that Rambo goes on another person's show and says, yeah man, Phil was involved with Panda Lee, who by the way is this and that, and it was very problematic and I didn't feel comfortable about that. Do you think DSP is gonna say, yeah man, this is opinion man, it's okay man? He's gonna say, no, they should have me on so I can explain what's going on. Right? But no. But he does that with Gahul because he doesn't care. He doesn't give a fuck. Yes.
Better than it had been previously with my former co-host. So having the 3 variety of hosts actually worked really well, in my opinion. And it showed
he said that he had chemistry with PPP during Smart Guys. And now, magically overnight, it all sucked. Again, the one segment he complained about was Grill Phil. But he never really did anything meaningful about it. Right? Okay.
That Smart Guys as a wrestling commentary show has legs and can stand on its own.
No, it can't.
But that's the thing. It has to be treated like a wrestling commentary show, and it has to be supported as such.
So then why did he have drama?
I feel like, sadly, because the show was started as a drama show,
what?
I don't know how long
now it was started as a drama show?
All right. So, anyway, the show went well. We actually hit the goal. We exceeded the goal.
Remember when he bragged about doing the solo show and how it worked and how it was cool and all this stuff? Now it's back on the chopping block. Guess what? Because wrestling is boring to hear. I really don't think... again, I'm not going to necessarily shit on, all wrestling podcasts, because there's wrestling podcasts for a reason, obviously. But I just don't think DSP is that interesting to talk about it, because he watches movies on his phone, he watches wrestling on his phone, or he reads summaries. You're telling me that's going to make a good podcast? Again, so many people had to explain to him what happened, what he just watched. Gahul knew more about wrestling than this guy did. Okay.
Been 2 packs of WWE Topps cards, but let's be honest. We did that because a couple of people came by and dropped a bunch of sub bombs on the stream. It wasn't because overall people were throwing support towards Smart Guys. It was because a small group of people came by last minute and dropped a bunch of support. That's not really how it should work. Okay, just being very honest with all of you. All right, it should work where there's enough of an audience that like the content, want that content, and will support it over time. Not,
Well,
at the last minute, one or two people dropped by and decided to
But
drop a
that's
couple
all your
sub
content.
bombs.
That is
So it makes-
every fucking stream. All these these 25 goals hit, were because one dude came by. Or two people. Or whatever. Oh, man.
To be very skeptical about the show's future. Okay? To be honest, I think tomorrow my WrestleMania Super Show might actually make or break the future of the show.
Good.
If the show goes well,
But
and
guess
gets
what's
attendance,
during
and
a,
gets engagement,
a
and
bigger
gets
time
support,
slot, so
then
it's
maybe
gonna
I'll
get
continue doing
more
Smart Guys
attention.
regularly. If tomorrow's show ends up sputtering out and flopping, especially because it's going to be a extra long WrestleMania Super Show, all right, and I'm putting a lot of extra time and effort into this to do it for you. If this doesn't work, I might put Smart Guys on hold, on a hiatus, and come back at a future date.
Guess what? Guess what that means? Because he told us this weeks ago. He was gonna do Smart Guys through WrestleMania, then put it on hiatus until next WrestleMania. And now he's acting as if this is a organic decision. Like, oh yeah, based on the numbers of support, I think I'm gonna put this on hold. No. You said you were gonna do it because guess what? He's paying for the subscription service just for this. And then that's it. Of course he's not gonna continue and watch his other stuff because he's not a real fan. Like, that's like me saying, like, yeah, I really love Guilty Gear, but I'm not gonna watch the Guilty Gear anime. I'm not gonna care about that. I'm not gonna read this comic series that Arc System put out on their website to read more of the lore of Guilty Gear or whatever. I'm not gonna care about that stuff. Or at least be even interested in the other Guilty Gear games that I may not have, like, played. No, I'm not gonna bother with that. What I'm gonna do is just read Twitter posts about it and go on that only. Yes, like a real fan would.
Date, I might just say that's it. The whole intention of Smart Guys was to do wrestling commentary from January to WrestleMania. That was always my intention. And then after WrestleMania, to see how it, if I got back enough into wrestling that I wanted to continue doing it.
No,
okay?
no.
I'll be honest with everybody.
He's probably just gonna do it every
I have enjoyed doing
WrestleMania,
it, for
which
sure.
is like really boring.
But it gets a bit
and
boring too
vanilla.
when you have these bye weeks where there's not a lot going on. And what I'm
Yeah,
thinking
you have
is
nothing else
maybe
to
if
say.
I were
You're not
to
interesting,
continue on
dude.
this mark,
It's so annoying because on Twitter, I've had a lot of people that they do talk about wrestling, and every time when I see a big hubbub on Twitter, like, oh my god, I can't believe this happened, and I see memes, I always know DSP's gonna say some like hype shit about his fucking podcast. Wait till you see this week's Smart Guys. But then, like, when it's like nothing going on, he says nothing. Like, just no opinion. Like, it's hard to take it seriously because I'm sure there are people that would do that and you know that. It's just I can't buy that with DSP. Because I've seen a lot of stuff and I think a lot of stuff that, like, I've seen a lot of people like kind of like dog on Lazarus, which I can understand, it's not like an amazing show. It's not my favorite of Watanabe's work, but I've been enjoying it. Now, of course, I'm not gonna sit there and say, well, since everyone else is shitting on it, it must suck. Like, no. I can think things are different. I can have different opinions. But DSP can't. He's scared to have his own little opinion because every time he seems to have one, other people, like, bitch about it. Like me. But the thing is, it's like, his opinions it's, like, so uniquely weird. And, like, dumb. It's unbelievable. I've never experienced hearing someone say something and be like, I can't believe it. Like, I can listen to people, like, tell me why they think Last of Us 2 is good or bad, and they all have different opinions, and I can, like, fucking understand that. But DSP? No way. No way, man. No way. I can't, I just can't take it seriously. It's so dumb and dented.
Mark guys, instead of it just being Raw and SmackDown every week, I would start to alternate, and maybe other weeks, maybe one week I check out NXT just to see what NXT is like. Maybe one week I check out AEW, right? I mix it up. So it's not, hey,
So
every
you're not gonna
single
care
week
about
it's
the
just Raw,
story.
SmackDown, Raw, SmackDown, Raw,
So
SmackDown.
how are you gonna care
I
about
do
the
feel
story
like it
if you're
gets
just
played out.
alternating?
And
Whatever. Okay.
I actually felt like this show that I did on Thursday, which was a WrestleMania hype build-up show where all I did was went through each match at WrestleMania and the plots leading up to it and what I think would happen. I liked that format better than treating the show like a play-by-play results show where every week I'm just reading this match happened, this promo happened, this
Oh
match
my
happened.
god, I love he's saying this, but that's every fucking review. And when people called it out, saying, "Hey Phil, it's kind of boring. You're just kind of telling me the movie. I just want to know your thoughts on it." And
How am I supposed to tell you my thoughts if I don't tell you what happened in the movie?
it's like so dumb and annoying. It's like, yeah, you can talk about plot points, but if it pertains to the review, but you don't have to tell me what happened in the movie. You can say like, yeah, I like the scene in this movie because this character said this, and when he said this line, I was like, holy shit, because it ties into the beginning of the movie. Like, that's a review. That's interesting. Not okay, so the movie starts and you see an empty street. Now the street is like kind of murky, and then the main character comes on and says, "It's time to kill people." And you're like, "What?" Usually they don't say that in a movie, but then you realize actually it's an anti-hero. Like, you're supposed to be like, "What?" And then you realize that society made him that way. Like, it's just kind of like wild. Right? They like just sit there and just tell you what's going on. And then and he says this and he says, "It's boring." Yeah, that's why your reviews suck, my guy.
Happened, this promo happened, this. I think that gets boring. I really do. I feel like sometimes if I'm just going through the results, it's just I'm not having a good time, especially if a show is a weak show. But now I have to waste time talking about it. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. All right. But here's the thing. This
Here's the
all
thing.
depends on tomorrow.
Oh.
No ifs, ands, or buts. Tomorrow, if Smart Guys goes well.
I hate this shit. Honestly, like when you think about it, it's so annoying, right? So let's say today, as I'm recording this, he gets like $1 million. He gets $1 million. And then he does the next show and he gets $2. So are we gonna say that's fine? But then he may say, "Hey, that's fine. I made a lot of money the last show." Then the next show after that, he makes $1. Guess what? He's gonna say nobody cares, and it's time to put this on a hiatus. But he's saying it so definitively, like that this will be the make or break show. But then, if the other shows are not as successful, he's gonna put it on hiatus anyway. So it's not the make or break. See, this is why this kind of stuff should not be really talked about, right? Because they say something definitive, it insinuates that the other shows will be spoken for if the other one does very well, right? Okay.
As well, then I will consider doing it weekly, regularly, but maybe mixing up the content. Instead of just being Raw and SmackDown, maybe we'll have alternating weeks of different content. That also goes for the hosts. So one week I may have no host. One week I may have one of the 3 hosts that have guest starred. One week I may have another one of the hosts on the show. And maybe I'll have some new hosts eventually too. Okay? So let's all see how it goes, hinging on tomorrow, and then we'll move forward. Speaking of which, I guess I should talk about it now because we're already talking about it. So here's how tomorrow's going to go. Okay?
All right, I'm just going to skip ahead.
Going to restart the first minutes discussing what he thought was more about and we're going to read his overall thoughts about that will reveal the longest wrestling commentary show. Much effort into Smart. 5 more packs of cards, okay, on the show. Special new co-host on. Second half would be wrestling commentary. So that's tomorrow. And if it does, the Smart Guys, okay? Today we've got Minecraft Iron. Do we want to today what you guys think are monsters? We found some diamonds. Our weekly stream of that game, which regularly does not get high attendance. But anyway, it should be chill, relaxing fun. And then tonight on the late stream, the continuation of Disco Elysium, our weekly stream of that game, which regularly does not get high attendance, does not get much engagement, but for some reason hits the support goal every time we play it. So we're going to continue on. Last time we had major story developments where we were able to finally investigate the dead body.
Okay.
It should be a good stream reward. When we hit 30 goals of support hit, we're going to be doing another DSP Tries It. But what one? Lemonade. Okay. But apparently.
Oh, you know what? I want to talk about the pickle thing. I almost forgot. There's a little sidebar on that. When he was hyping that goal up, he was like, yeah, they have a pickle drink, a pickle drink, a pickle drink, a pickle drink. And I'm thinking, oh, so they just made pickle juice. Like, they just kind of like, you're going to be drinking pickle fluids or whatever, right? Then, when he did the actual thing, he's like, yeah, it's a pickle lemonade. And I was like, I did not know it was a lemonade too. And then he drank it and was like, oh, I don't taste the pickle. I mean, you realize that's probably why they put it in the lemonade. Because they probably want you to buy the drink and they want you to not hate it, right? Whatever.
Apparently, let me just added that limited time.
Okay, I don't care about fucking food.
On one side of things, I think it was on the YouTube side of things. I think Chipotle won. And on the kick, because 50 goal will be a marathon. That could work.
Right. That could work.
And another day closer to hitting that goal and doing a DSP Tries It this week. YouTube side of stuff attached to that one. And then there was but they're both $1.11. Is important. So your views do help on Kick.
Okay.
Easter off. I'm pretty sure holiday can be celebrated with. Already talked about this. YouTube side of stuff. Let's get started here. So the first contribution was from DH1. It was a $10 super chat talking about why I didn't have Easter off. I'm pretty sure I've already talked about this. Okay? Holidays are just semantics.
It's just semantics. Okay. Cool.
Then you're all good. Doesn't matter that I don't have Easter off when I just spent a whole bunch of time with my wife to celebrate our anniversary and more. It's all good. Okay, so no worries there, and thank you for that. And then DH1 actually became a member of the channel. So thank you, DH1, for joining that.
All right, DH1.
Glad that you love the stream. $2.54 tip. Something in a tip. In the body of the tip, the message you send with said tip, please put, that would suck if that's where we're at so far. Now, our first sub of the day. To become the top. My fault. They changed. Apologies to the two $1.11 tippers and the $2.54 tipper. I missed your messages, but I just scrolled down. If they changed the format now.
I love he won't go to their old email. He won't go. They have to send another tip. Like, okay.
Oh, it is in there. All right, so now I can read this message from the 420 tipper. My bad. They changed. Firefighter over on Kick. Thanks for a highlighted message. 20 tip is from all people. Poopy head. The leaderboard either. I'm just gonna say anonymous.
Why you don't need? Okay. You could just say.
Talked about this. So my rapper name is Philly Blunt. And climbing.
Party hat.
Again, my apologies to the early tippers. I didn't see your messages. Shout it out moving forward.
Okay.
Over on Kick. We got a couple of quick updates. The updated schedule.
Yeah, I don't care about this.
And by the way,
schedule. Oh wow! Look, I learned a PNG. Oh my god! Look at this.
The community made because these are community made animations.
Okay, so maybe eventually animations. Yes.
I to this person because I couldn't read your message earlier.
Did you make that picture too?
People nowadays, except that you can just proclaim any game. This is a long one, but what are your thoughts on the growing anti-woke movement in gaming that is going on?
Yeah,
they're more obnoxious than the woke people nowadays. They just proclaim any game that their favorite YouTuber grifter deems as woke, even if they've never played it. For me, this mostly stems from people calling avowed woke, but I've never seen anything woke except that you can do a gay romance, but you could do gay romances in Dragon Age and Mass Effect in 2008 and 2009. Why is gay romance suddenly woke and bad now, but fine before? Excuse me. By the way, for the record, that's false. Mass Effect 1 Did not have
He
a Game
didn't
Over.
say Mass Effect 1. He said Mass Effect,
That's
talking about the
incorrect.
franchise.
Mass Effect 2 did.
Oh
Okay.
my god. Oh,
Um,
it's number 2, man.
Why is Gay Romance suddenly woke and bad but fine before? It feels to me like any game with a black person, a woman, or a black woman in it now just
Yeah,
gets
think about
proclaimed
it.
as woke, and everyone boycotts really good games because some YouTuber told them to. What is woke? Why is it bad? Okay.
What is woke? Why is it bad?
We've talked about this recently. We have, right?
Man. This would be a fun
I feel
thing.
like
But if
in life,
this segment, the reason why I'm playing this, you know my take, so I don't have to regurgitate a lot of my original points. You know what? You know where I land on this. But the reason why I'm doing this is literally every time this question comes up, DSP finds new ways to piss me off about it. Like it is like incredible. It's like a superpower. Like, man. On the one hand, it's like a blessing in disguise that this dude did not enter the valley, the realm of making like culture war slop. Like, we dodged a bullet because this dude, like, I don't think anyone would really talk about him because he would probably look like an idiot. But man, he would say such dumb shit.
And in human culture, okay, there's this pendulum that swings back and forth.
Already. You already are beating your head against the desk. Dude, I was playing fucking Guilty Gear, listening to this, and it threw my entire match off. Like, I went from, like, playing competently to, like, I couldn't put the fucking controller on the floor, and I'd probably be playing the game better than I was just listening to this. It was so mind-numbing. The pendulum swinging, it's like it's such a dumb thing, and it gets worse and worse the more it goes on. Like, I don't know what happened. Why he even thought this was like a smart thing to say? Oh man.
Okay.
Okay.
Sometimes it swings all the way over to the right. Sometimes it swings all the way over to the left. And sometimes it lands.
Let's not talk to me like I'm a fucking baby.
Okay.
Currently, can you fucking like bash your head against the wall?
Climate and everything going on, the pendulum was all the way on the left. It actually was.
Was it?
Okay.
I mean,
but
people still bitch about it. Whatever.
Okay. Very swiftly and strongly to the right. Okay.
This thing, I just want to highlight. He keeps bringing up the presidential election. I refuse to believe that fucking video game shit like that was enough to swing a fucking election. You realize the president and all this stuff, like, deals more about how life goes on, correct? Like, if you go to any voter that voted, any of these people, like the working class, which was a lot of the reasons why the left lost, by the way, they're not gonna fucking tell you, yeah, man, I voted for Trump because, like, I saw that a video game had a woman in it. I'm like, no way, I'm voting for Trump. No. Like, none of that happens. I mean, sure, you could conflate a lot of, like, cultural norms and this and that through that, but this is, like, a completely different argument. And I don't think it has anything to do with a pendulum swinging or anything like that. Like, even these, like, these pundits or whatever, right? When they talk about pendulum swinging, it's mostly just, like, narrative and a lot of stuff that DSP would not even talk about. I'll just say, put it that way. The stuff that they bring up with the pendulum swinging deals with a lot of, like, how these political parties market their fucking politicians and the narrative they want to give people and what they want to campaign on. Like, there are still people like are criticizing the left still because they don't have a unifying message. The right did have a unifying message, and they were actively campaigning on it. Meanwhile, the left was just like kind of like, yeah, like you know, we care about borders. Yeah, we're gonna fucking enforce border control. But these are like they're saying this to a voter base that doesn't want like harsher fucking immigration policies. Or anything. I mean, it's so irrelevant to what is going on in the gaming industry. Like, that's the point I was making. I don't want to get too far into this political, like, uh, uh, nonsense, but every time I hear him talk about the pendulum swing, it's like he reads, like, these headlines and thinks that he sounds so smart because they said it, but it's like, these are things that are baked into other fucking shit that people who are smarter than DSP are talking about.
Okay?
Okay?
So,
Yeah, get on your phone.
what's happening is,
Yeah, play some
you used to have a
play some
ton of
Hogans.
games that were coming out that had these kind of themes. One of the biggest ones that everyone talks about is The Last of Us 2.
Oh
The
my
protagonist,
God.
Ellie, is revealed.
Dude, I'm just gonna say it. I don't think the game being woke had anything to do with why the game was bad. It was just a boring, bad revenge plot. Everyone's favorite character got killed in the beginning, and that's it. Nobody said, like, people who say woke, it's just grifter slop. Like, you just go to a fucking YouTube and it's like, this game is woke, and it's just like, yeah, do they have a character that's a woman? Wow. It's like, these are not people that people should give a fuck about. But when you actually, like, look at the game, you see why a lot of people don't like the game. Okay.
To be gay, and she has
Wait, what?
themes. One of the biggest ones that everyone talks about is The Last of Us 2. The protagonist, Ellie, is revealed to be gay.
She was revealed to be gay, bisexual, whatever, literally in the first game. Like, they even have a kiss scene in the first game. Like, it's shown in the first game. It was not a surprise in the second game that she was a lesbian or that she would have a girlfriend. Nobody would say, she's gay? If they played the first game, they would have known that. But DSP forgot about that. But he remembered, I think he did remember it when he played the game, just to call it out. But this dude was freaking the fuck out over them, like, getting high in a room. But again, like, he also does not understand the fucking context of where they were living. They lived in a fortified area. I've talked about this game so many times. It's like, you know what I'm gonna say about the fucking camp that they were in. It's the most luxurious camp in that setting because post-apocalypse, when you have electricity, a wall, and all this stuff, it's like you're a privileged society in that fucking world. Oh my God.
And she has a homosexual relationship during the course of the game, right? The other protagonist, or you might even say the antagonist protagonist, because she's...
You might say a protagonist or antagonist, I mean, whatever. I mean, it's a character.
It's kind of bull. Abby isn't a typical woman. She's not a damsel in distress. Instead, she's actually buff.
Dude, these are just like fucking buzzwords from the 90s. Yeah, look, when Nintendo was hyping up that Princess Peach game, yeah, she's no longer the damsel in distress. She is a woman, and she's running around and killing enemies with emotions. It was a very weird game. I never played it, but it was just really weird. You would touch on the screen. I just know of the gameplay a little bit where you would, like, make her cry, and then she, like, drowns the enemy. She gets angry, she gets violent or something. She's happy, she jumps higher. I don't know. When she's what was the other emotion? Happy, angry, sad. There has to be a fourth one. Neutral. I don't know. Whatever, right? But dude, she's like, yeah, she's not a damsel in distress. Like, she would never be. But whatever. Okay, yeah, they gave her muscles. You know, women never have muscles. They just don't have it. They're just bones, obviously. That's why when you go to the Olympics and you see women athletes, they're not real. They don't exist. Those are animatronics.
Has manly characteristics to her. She can brutally kill guys.
Yeah,
right?
women can't brutally kill
anyone.
anyone.
That's not normal, right? There's instead, she's actually buff.
This is ridiculous.
Has manly characteristics to...
Okay, what are the manly characteristics? She has muscles. Okay. Well, I mean, men could get fucked in the ass. But I mean, that's just fucking. I mean, fucking is everything. Everything is fuckable if you think about it. Let's see. What else is another manly thing? Just muscles, I guess. But everyone wants to say that's not real. Look at the TV show. But again, like, how many athletes are actors, or how many wannabe actors, right? Like, who cares? I mean, you're gonna draw the line at that when you have like fucking fungus monsters running around. Come on.
To her, she can brutally kill guys.
Brutally
right?
kill guys.
That's not normal, right?
That's not normal. Women can't brutally kill anyone. Just ignore the fact that Ellie killed people, like smugglers or whatever. I mean, women can have weapons. They can use swords. Let's ignore that. That's not normal, okay? Women only are damsel in distresses. Hello? It's so weird. Like on one hand, like it's like what he should have said. I mean, what I'm willing to say he's trying in his own dumb fuck way is saying is that it's not like the norm, or at least there's not a lot of games where you see women be to be muscular or anything like that, because a lot of times, a lot of games, they design women to be more attractive and sexualized, but now you're seeing more games trying to pull that back a little bit, try to make more believable, realistic characters to sell a story or whatever, and that is something that people have complained about. Whatever, like that's the conversation he's trying to have. But he's very stupid. That's the problem here. He's too stupid to have any meaningful conversations, which is very funny coming from Mr. Meaningful Positive Guy, right?
Right? There's actually a trans character in the game who says that they had to leave where they were because people mistreated them because they were trans. All right? So these themes are not themes that are usually in common video games, just to be honest. And what ended up happening was, with Last of Us 2 becoming a giant, massive hit and seller, a lot of other game developers decided to follow suit.
How many games after Last of Us 2 started to have like a huge flood of trans characters or a flood of muscular women? Like that, there's still not that much, and even then, there would be a game that would have a woman in it, and then there'd be someone on the internet be like, "This game is it woke?" And it's like, dude, it's like fucking relax. Like South at Midnight did not look like that offensive of a game, and yet DSP is the only one that like kind of amplified a few people in his chat that were saying this game is woke. But it's like, dude, it's just a fucking game, man. But he doesn't really argue anything. It's so lame.
And put these more liberal themes into the video games. Okay? And it was a thing. It was like a running thing. I feel like people who were making games actually sat down and said, well, how can we follow this trend? We want to be part of this trend where everyone's doing this more liberal.
But again, like, see, this is the problem. If you approach this from a cynical angle, that I can get it. I can understand that. Like, but at the same time, it's like, how do you know that these people want to tell these stories? Like, like, how can you know for a fact that they're chasing trends versus what if they just want to tell the story? The thing that's like really annoying is that the issue with Dragon Age the Veilguard, the taking a barf scene that DSP keeps talking about, the problem is like a lot of the dialogue is ham-fisted and very like cringe, because it's literally like, so when people apologize, so how do you know if they're being sincere or whatever? Oh, some people are insincere when they apologize? It's like, you don't need a character to kind of like say that out loud. Like, the character explaining why she's doing push-ups is enough to explain why some people, like, you can kind of deduce that some people can be insincere. That's why she's doing this. Like, the action speaks for itself. You don't need another character to sit there and be like, is that why they're doing this? Is because of blah, blah, blah? But it's like, but to DSP, he thinks that the barf itself is the thing, which I don't know if that's, like, the way he brings it up is very weird to me, because it's like, does he think that the barf is something that liberals do? Like, we just do push-ups to apologize? No, that's not a thing. It's a thing in the game, because that's a thing that her culture did or whatever the fuck to show that they want to apologize or whatever. Like, there's been so many stories where characters explain something in their own culture to people all the time. But the problem, like, but instead of like really just thinking about anything, he just is like, yeah, taking a barf. Like, whatever. Okay.
Woke stuff, you know, our protagonist should not be a big roided white male, which most video game
Dude, like
protagonists
I remember there were memes even back then where they were like, yeah, look at all these like characters, they all kind of look like the same carbon copy of each other or a general idea of the same thing. Like, and as everything with women, like if you look at a lot of video games and a lot of in the past, they would always be relegated to certain like stereotypes or whatever. I mean, and I think now more than ever, if anything, I'm fine with more characters looking different and being and having different designs. You know, I don't like Mortal Kombat games that much or NetherRealm games and all this stuff, but I think people like kind of are a little are sleeping on how cool the design Scarlet had in Mortal Kombat 11. Her design in that game was cool. I don't care what anyone else says. I like the little details. I like all that kind of stuff. I always love more complex details and designs like that. That's why I also like Guilty Gear. A lot of their character designs are very like intricate and detailed. I don't need another character in a bikini and like whatever. Okay, cool. But oh, look at this character that has these like cool little like designs or whatever. Oh, whatever.
tend to do. All right, we want something different. Let's have a female. Let's
Let's
not
have a
have
female.
a bombshell, over the top, supermodel looking white female. Instead, let's have a minority. Let's have a person who doesn't have that supermodel body type instead. Let's have more realistic common body types as main characters in our games. Let's have characters that are more
I'm
story
surprised you
driven,
didn't say
but
variety.
they're not necessarily
Variety is face of
superhero.
life.
Okay?
Wait, what?
And you'll see common body types as main characters in our games. Let's have characters that are more story driven, but they're not
Oh.
necessarily superhero-ish. Okay?
Superhero.
And you'll see for a good run there, because Last of Us 2 was what, 2010? Excuse me, 2020? It was a good 3-4 years there.
But,
But this was kind of the pattern. All right?
but
I
this
think
has
what
happened
happens
before,
is
though. This is
It goes too
whatever.
far. So,
What?
for
It
example,
goes
take a look
too
at what
far.
happened.
Like, how many games got ruined though? Like, I mean, some people just did not like what they did to the game, but whatever. I mean, people can dislike games all they want. I don't give whatever. Fine, fine. But at the end of the day, we still have other games that have other designs of like other characters. Like they still have Wolverine like that's probably gonna look like off Hugh Jackman probably. I mean, there's still like stuff out there for other people to play. Like Street Fighter still has like muscular characters like Ryu, Ken, JP. Well, JP's not muscular. He's an old guy, so never mind. But it's JP Bison, whatever. Like there's always gonna be these like characters in games. They're not going anywhere. But having like other designs and other characters and other ideas, that's too far. Oh, that's too much, man. This thing is so bad, guy. Come in.
With Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh my god.
Okay? Here's a
Fucking
game
trash.
made by a bunch of game developers
Fuck that game.
that literally are supportive of these kind of liberal things.
Are
like
they?
They're 100% supportive of trans people, gay people.
Are
they
they?
100%
Are they now? I don't
are okay
know.
with that. They have characters of that in the game. There's actually a trans character in the game that's actually very
Okay,
positive
I mean,
for
I said what I
the
said
trans
about it. I
community,
don't
like
know
a very,
how
they run
necessarily
the
positive
pub.
it
I
is.
forget the character's name, but they run the
I
pub.
feel like that
and they're
they
actually
said
well
it's
written.
not.
They fit perfectly into the story.
But
It's
whatever.
not intrusive or shoved down your
Yeah,
throat that they're
wonder why it works so well for DSP is because literally this character is like an NPC that's like that's a side character that you don't really spend a lot of time with. That's what's good. But when you make it a main character, okay, that's too far, man. Okay, so it's fine if they're like an NPC that's out of the way, but if you make it a main character, okay, dude, calm down, right? Okay.
they're trans. There's nothing wrong with that character at all. It's great. Well done. Okay? But what ends up happening is the woke mob tries to cancel the game because of
But why? Again, like the thing people bring up about J.K. Rowling is that she sees every like success of anything in her within her properties, like Harry Potter. If they sells a lot, that means it validates her viewpoint and all this other stuff. Like that's how she sees it as. And he doesn't get that, and he doesn't get that like people may not like her and they may not want to support her or want her to get support or whatever the fuck. Like, you know, a lot of people have different reasons for why they say things and why they believe certain things. But him not understanding that is like, you know, he doesn't have to. To be fair, he doesn't have to know this. But come on.
J.K. Rowling, the original creator of Harry Potter, basically being anti-trans. And what happens is it kind of blows up to this giant political argument on the internet about this video game, which is just so bizarre.
Yeah, the game
Why can't we all
sucks
just
anyway.
enjoy the game?
But he did enjoy the game. Like, how can he like? See, this is the other thing about DSP that's like really annoying. He acts as if like this outside noise like affects him deeply. Like, dude, you played the game and you beat it to completion. Like, he's the only one on the internet that's still talking about this dumb fuck bland piece of shit than anyone else. He's the only one, and he only brings it up to make a point. It can't, and this dude would also criticize other games that are woke for doing what, and all of this like, oh, they're just doing this. It's gonna be like a game that people are gonna forget and bring this up. But he does that to fucking Hogwarts. Whatever. Okay.
Rather than hating it for or loving it for political reasons.
But then, like, at the same time, he's saying that like they should be happy because it has a trans character. So that kind of like. He doesn't think that might have an insidious like undertone to it. So like if like someone that's like a piece of shit, right? If they hate trans people, let's say that they're a violent transphobe, and then they make a game or a story and they throw a trans character in it, are we supposed to like pat that guy on the back? Yeah, you may hate these group of people, but you include them in a book, man. That's very cool. Like. You realize, you see how like dangerous that kind of logic is. I mean, it may not be it is an extreme example to be fair, but he could just very easily just shut up and enjoy the game and move on with his life. He's still talking about Hogwarts Legacy and how people did not like this game, or they didn't like it because it would support J.K. Rowling. But it's like that's their decision. They have every right to want to boycott the game as much as you have the right to play the game. And of course there's gonna be people that are gonna like either take it too far and go after people who have nothing to do or may not even be aware of the implications of this game or whatever. But that's a different conversation altogether than just simply playing the game. Like if he enjoyed the game, good for him. He doesn't have to make a victim segment out of it.
Did you even play the game to know if it was good or not? Okay.
It looked
Anyway,
boring
that's
as
just a case in
shit.
point of something.
But
I
have a burning hatred for
right?
Harry Potter.
So I think what
you know,
happened was,
you know,
things went so far to the left. All of a sudden, culture couldn't take it anymore. They got a bad taste in their mouth. And overall,
what was the bad taste? Like, all the stuff that he's complaining about could easily just be solved by just either like buying stuff you want to buy or just coping or whatever, or maybe just engage with it, whatever, right? To the whole thing, the culture couldn't take it. It's kind of dumb. When, if anything, a lot of developers, creators, whatever, have to argue a lot to just have a character that they want in their fucking story sometimes. Some stuff don't even get made because of a CEO, the guy that thinks it's not gonna sell well. Batgirl, we don't even know the quality of that movie, Batgirl. It just got canceled. We don't even know. The movie was done. And the movie is gone now. It's canceled. But why? Why did that get canceled? But then we got Slop Like the Flash that was a shitty movie that gets greenlit. But the Batgirl movie that got canceled very quick.
All human culture said, too much is too much.
Human culture.
We want to go back to having more balance. But what ends up happening is the pendulum starts to swing, all right, and it hits middle.
If he's saying that arc or pendulum, this dumb example that was all the way to the left, okay, it's all the way there. All the way there. Okay, so we want balance. So why the fuck does it go all the way to the right then? But then how come, like, we don't see people complain about, like, why does they complain about it being too anti-woke? Like, we're so quick to complain about games being too woke and this and that, and we're complaining about these progressive ideals. But then we're not complaining at all about all these right-wing things. Oh, I mean, that doesn't exist, I guess. Alright, whatever.
And now you start seeing people call out things that are woke for woke's sake. Things that are just poor game design. Things that look and play horrible.
So going all the way to the right is just saying what we've been saying already, or what people have been saying already, is that a game is woke. This has been happening even in the PS3 era. Like, even when Bioshock Infinite came out, people were doing that kind of stuff. Saying this game is too woke, whatever. I mean, it's just happening more so now because guess what? All these fucking websites are based on algorithm. And guess what gets a lot of clicks? A lot of rage bait. So guess what is perceived to have the loudest voice? And this is coming from a guy that talks about how YouTube pushes drama and all this stuff. He says this, not really like thinking about that.
And are trying to be sold just because they're woke, right? And I get that.
What game has been marketing itself as being woke? If anything, this is stuff that people have attached to things that they don't even know if that was the case. Dragon Age the Veilguard only was being told it was being woke because of that one scene. It had, like, there was an argument that it said that was being woke because it uses the color purple. Like, I mean, that argument sure came and went to be fair, but I do remember seeing someone complain about the color being purple, and it's like, oh, okay, man, that's keep bitching. Purple is the go-to color. I'm sorry. I think purple's pretty cool. I like the color green. I like the color blue, but purple, you get the right purple, it is like the go-to color. You can't go wrong with purple. It's so cool. Come in.
Yeah, I do feel like there was a year or two there where a bunch of games were coming out that really didn't have much value besides, the main character is gay or
like what?
A female.
What game is he
regular
talking
body
about?
type and stuff like that.
Tell us the game.
So now,
like what? Oh my god! This is the other thing. He says things, but he doesn't say what he's talking about. What is this? What are these games that had no value that other than having a character that's a lesbian? What game? And if you're gonna say, well, these Life is Strange games, nobody likes these games unironically. Because I even remember when the first game came up, people were like, yeah, this is kind of cringe. It's like Life is Tumblr and this and that. Like, that's it. They were always dogged on. Always. It's like really like watching a Tommy Wiseau movie and be like, wow, this guy is not a good director. Whoa.
2025. Okay?
All right.
And what's happened is we just had a crazy milestone history-making election where almost all of the American lawmakers in the federal government voted in were Republicans, completely shifting from a left swing to a right swing. The people of the United States have said collectively, we're tired of this woke movement. We're tired of the liberalism.
But this is like dumb because these people who are progressive, part of the LGBT, whatever, these people are not going to go away. They're just going to persist and they're going to still protest and still speak up to get their voices be heard and all this stuff. Like, these people aren't going to go away. Like, they're still going to continue because they've existed for years. It's just before they were like, not known because you don't want to advertise who they were back then for obvious reasons, and now they want a more accepting society, and this and that. Just because like all, that the Republicans win doesn't necessarily mean that they're against this. It just means that Democrats had a weaker messaging. Like all this stuff, like to talk about the elections, it has nothing to do with like because I see this is like I've seen a lot of people like bring up like voters and this and that. I don't necessarily blame voters for a lot of things because they vote for people who they genuinely believe in. Because I'm not gonna necessarily like dog on a Trump voter for voting for Trump. If they really thought that Trump was going to do right for this country and not do like a lot of the crazy shit that he said that he was wanting to do or whatever. Like because I can understand like a lot of politicians say a lot of stuff on the campaign trail, whatever. But if they said that they were not happy with what he's doing and they are shocked, I would like be like, okay, I can get that. I can understand that. The people I don't really like, vibe with are people who are like bouncing up and down for like these terrible decisions or whatever. I mean, it's case by case to be fair. And if nobody wants to talk about that's fine too. I'm not whatever, I'm not gonna like fucking force anyone to talk about this kind of stuff. But to just conflate the elections to video game culture and this kind of stuff, it's a really stupid argument. Like sure, maybe it would have an effect on someone, but I think at the end of the day, when people are going to the voting booths, they're voting for candidates that they want to vote for based on real world implications on things, not just wow, this video game sucked, I'm voting for the other guy. Like that's not really what adults do when they go to vote. Like come on now, dog.
We want a return back to what we consider conservative values and normalcy. And what's happened along with that is online culture has followed it. People who used to feel like they were kind of being beaten down by this liberal movement.
This is like the shit. Like J.K. Rowling kept saying, like, "Oh, she broke her silence." She finally is like she never shut up. Like J.K. Rowling had a Twitter account. She kept posting on Twitter. I guess the only thing she was saying was that she now feels or perceives that less people are shitting on her, which is like the most DSP style perspective you could have. Where you just feel that less people are like getting mad at you because you perceive you're in a safe space or whatever dumb fuck shit, right? Like it's whatever. Anyone can feel however they feel online, whatever. Sure, it's annoying to like engage in internet debates and all this stuff, but that's all it is. But she was not silent. She kept talking. She would never shut up. Come on.
This woke movement are now emboldened to speak up. And people who used to be on the fringe are now mainstream. This is the pendulum swinging.
Oh my god.
Okay? So what's happened in 2025, games that have been in the pipeline for many years, the pipeline that was crammed with liberal woke style games are coming out, but it's too late. God. The movement's over.
This dude is literally looking at this in a very corporate sense and not like, yeah, people want to make video games and they want to like talk about these themes they want to talk about in the game, so they worked on it, and it takes forever to make because video game development is not within a year, and they're getting longer too, by the way. So it's like, come on, whatever.
Culture has turned against it. These games are not selling well and are not very popular because guess what? That was a fad that went through, and now the fads.
But again, some people still play these games. There's still a good amount of people playing Ascreed Shadows. There's still a lot of people playing Dragon Age the Veilguard, whatever. Like, honestly, and he's saying that these weren't successes based on what metric? Like, how does he know that this company thinks that these are flops? They may not be flops considered to them, or a developer may just be happy with whatever they sell, right? Like, just because the company EA or Ubisoft will say, oh, these sales did not reach expectations, doesn't mean the developers are not happy about the sales that happened, right? It's like, I just saw this article about the movie Sinners, that it made $60 million in the weekend box office. Variety makes a headline saying, yeah, it opened with 60 million, but at a 90 million price, so it has yet to make its money back. And then, like, Ben Stiller says, in what reality is $60 million in a weekend for an original idea a flop? Like, Sinners is not a franchise, it's not a reboot, it's not like a comic book movie, it's a brand new movie it did those numbers. And we're like looking down on the expectation of when will it make its money back. Like, come on.
And sadly,
But if this dude loves art and he loves expressionism and all this stuff, like, he'd understand just very matter of factly that a lot of people in the industry that does this for a passion, they don't give a fuck about will the game sell, and they just want to make a story with these characters that they want in their stories. And people who are in the art department just wants to design these characters the way that they're designed. Like, there's no ulterior motive other than this is what they want to do with the fucking medium. Whatever.
has swung the other way. Now, by the way, I will say
By
this
the way,
very, excuse me, matter of factly. I'm not of either side. I'm not left leaning or right leaning. Okay?
yeah, what it is as I said, this dude is uncomfortable with a lot of the ideas that the left have, and he doesn't understand it. He doesn't want to be called a bigot or whatever. So instead of like researching or educating himself, because that takes a little bit of effort, that takes a little bit of like groundwork to really like do that, he just wants to be like, yeah, be happy, be happy, be happy. But Republican stuff is a far easier idea to buy because it's not anything crazy on paper. Yeah, people should come here legally and not come here illegally. No one should have access to hardcore drugs or whatever. Like, these are like ideas that like anyone can kind of like wrap their mind around, but it's usually the policies where you start to like see a little bit of a difference and a little bit of issues depending how you look at things, right? But this dude was I don't go one way or the other, man. Like, okay, but like, then are you gonna be a little bit more like critical when something happens that's not good? Like, it's so funny. He when Biden was president, he kept complaining about inflation rate and all this stuff, all these prices going up. Prices are still going up, eggs are still expensive, and he's eating it. And he's like, yeah, man, okay, man, whatever, man. Like, why has he complained about inflation? He spent more money now than he has ever before, right? Like, he has complained about how groceries were expensive during Biden's presidency more so than now. Okay, whatever, okay.
I judge things at face
What about
value.
these tariffs?
I'm able to tell you guys the truth of the matter from my perspective. And I think that people who are extremely one way or the other way kind of don't get it. That in life, you can't be in a mentality that either you're with me or you're against me, right? Either you're like my greatest ally or you're my hated enemy.
All this is, he doesn't want to be, he doesn't want to be confrontational. But again, if he doesn't want to, like, push people away and make them feel like an enemy, maybe you don't need to, like, insult people. Like, again, I don't necessarily like name call people who voted for Trump because I don't know all the people who voted for Trump. But I also think it's reductive to just assume that everyone is the same when it comes to that. Because I understand there are bad people or bad actors that are Trump supporters just as much as a lot of people who voted for him are just innocent people that wanted change. They didn't want to be told that, oh, this candidate is the status quo. If you like what Biden was all about, vote for Kamala Harris. Clearly, not a lot of people liked Biden that much, and they just kind of voted for it. Like, all this stuff is just, there's all this other stuff, but he always talks about when you go into politics, you have to be divisive. But the only way it becomes more divisive, if you're not name calling, it becomes more about like a lot of other things that can be taken that way. But if you don't want to talk about these things like trans rights, gender affirming care or whatever, you don't have to talk about those stories if you don't understand it. It becomes a problem if you start talking a lot about these things and you know nothing about them. Like, a lot of this just comes around the amount of stuff you're willing to research and understand. But he clearly doesn't want to do that, which is like fine, but then don't talk about about a lot of these other things then. But he wants to talk about like just in each of it's like he's complaining about these discussions that he doesn't have. But again, the question is, why do people get more upset or more worked up when a video game has like a black character in it or a gay character? Now they say that that's woke, but back then they didn't. And I just think what it is simply is that these people are perceiving a bias or an agenda or a checklist that they're hitting without much understanding of if that's even true. A lot of people think that Sweet Baby Inc. has a lot. He's forcing all this stuff going on when they're just a consulting firm, and there's really no hard evidence, and it always boils down to these individuals who work in SBI that have questionable tweets. I've said in the past, like a lot of these tweets are replies to tweets that are deleted, and I think like I would like to see what the original, like the reply tweet's not good. I'm not gonna sit there and say that it's good, but it would also give you an idea of what they're replying to, like. So that's all that's going on, and I also think that a lot of cases when people say a game's too political or all these things, it boils down to either tokenism. They believe that a character's in there for token purposes, or they say that that the writing is ham-fisted or whatever. Like, I think it boils down to this. When you start to talk to some of these people, the people who are making the YouTube themselves, like these YouTube videos themselves saying these things, I don't think these people are coming from any genuine place other than to get clicks and get clickbait views and all this other stuff, just the grift. The people who watch those videos, I think, either come from a good place where they think that they're either watching characters that are there for token purposes, what I've said, etc., or these people who just simply just don't know. I mean, there's a lot of ignorance out there. That's the answer. But instead, we're talking about like politics, the pendulum swinging, who won the election. These are all fucking non sequiturs that have nothing to do with the question, in my opinion. This is just a lot of words to throw you off of what he's actually saying, to just hide how little he knows about anything.
To me, I feel like people from all walks of life, from all different mentalities, different mindsets, have to come together to learn to coexist and to help each other out to be successful. It can't just be one way or the other way, my way or the highway.
But these are games
so when
that
I play
people
a
are
video
making
game,
individually.
I don't give a shit.
Whatever, okay.
Who the main character is, what they look like, what their background is, what their sexual orientation is, what their gender is, what their skin color is. I don't give a shit. Who the main character is, what they look like, what their background is, what their sexual orientation is.
Their background is literally how you make a good story. Like, why do you think a lot of people can relate to other characters or like or dislike characters? A lot of it comes from the background. And all this what do you think character development is? Is to understand the characters. Oh my god.
Is, what their gender is, what their skin color is. I don't give a fuck.
The gender, the skin color, these are things you can see and like, oh, okay, like whatever. But some of the times when they talk about this, it can also influence or educate the viewer as to why this character may be persecuted or why they are an outcast. Like, yeah, there could be many reasons why. Like, the character in Last of Us 2, his favorite game, that is trans, that got kicked out of their community or whatever. That could have been any reason why they were cast aside. It didn't have to be because this person was trans, or it could have just been they don't believe in the same religion. They don't bathe. This person is a hoarder. They were selling their colleagues out to smugglers. Whatever. But they chose it to be that for a lot of other reasons. And, in a post-apocalyptic world, there's probably a lot of things that would go like that. Honestly, if you think about it. But it's just to give you an idea as to why this character was cast aside. And that's what they chose. Like, and I think it's interesting, though, like, when you look back at the hate of that Last of Us 2, I don't think there were a lot of people, I mean, I'm sure there were some, But I don't think there were a lot of people that were really upset with that character for being in the game. I mean, sure, there was a lot of other things to hate about the game, but it was usually revolving around Abby killing Joel in the beginning of the game, and the overall message of revenge. Like, these are the only things that people were talking about. I didn't see a lot of people like really bring up the trans character to chat on that, which I think kind of says something about how either well that character was written or what, right? So there you have it, right? Correct? Is that all these things help to portray the character or the conflict or whatever's going on within the story. These are things that are used to develop a character and a story to make you feel like you care. Like, you're not going to give a fuck about a character unless you know more about the character. But then when you get to these kind of conversations with them, you're like, why do you care so much? This sounds kind of like you're like an insane person. But it's like, it's basic shit to understand when you're like experiencing a story that you want to care about these things.
My question is the game fun to play? Is there a mechanic that's neat or interesting or catchy or addictive? Is there any innovation in the game? How does the game perform? How are the graphics? Is the story interesting and hooking? Is it good? How is the soundtrack?
How can you tell the story is good if you don't care about the characters, right?
I don't care about the political stuff in the game at all. Now, there are some cases where, sadly, I do feel that some games go too far. For example, when I played Life is Strange 2, that game became so leftist preachy.
But this is kind of dumb. Like, if you think about the story and what it's focusing on, they're not saying America is this. It's saying it was just showing these two kids were running through all these situations that had all this conflict with them and all this other stuff. Like, that's all it is. That's all it showed. But whatever. I mean, again, it's like, he said Life is Strange, right? Yeah, I think he said Life is Strange. But again, it's Life is Strange. How many people said that Life is Strange 2 or Life is Strange 1 had good writing? And again, the only reason why these people like Life is Strange, just don't forget this part. It was because it had superpowers in it. That's all he cared about. It had nothing to do with the characters, the story. It was just, yeah, man, you get to rewind time. Whoa! And that's it. That's all they cared about.
Everyone in the United States who's white basically is racist, and that's why the two Hispanic main characters get treated so poorly by almost every white person in the game except for one. Every other person is like a scumbag to them, right? I don't like that because I feel like that's a gross misrepresentation and it goes too far, all right? But in general, as long as the game is fun to play, I don't give a shit about any of that stuff. I try to judge stuff fairly, okay? But what's now happened is the movement has gone the other way. At one point, it was like hip and what's the cool hot thing? Well, we got to have a gay character. We got to have a trans character. We got to have someone who completely has blue hair, tattoos all over their body, a nose ring, has to talk about 7.
This is so weird. Like, yeah, it's starting to, like, people have gotten piercings for years. Years. Dude, it was like a thing in the 90s. Like, he says as if it's a brand new thing. Same with dyed hair. People have been dyeing their hair for years. But blue I can understand because that's like the meme, right?
Cool hot thing. Well, we gotta have a gay character. We gotta have a trans character.
But why can't we have gay characters or trans characters? These people exist, and why can't they have a story about them? Why can't they be represented? Why does it? Why is it that when we have a character like Chris Redfield, nobody's saying, "Oh, why do we need more representation of that?" Oh my God, we get it. White people are muscular. Oh my God. But then you have a character that's gay. Okay, guys, can you shut up? Why can't they be in games? Why can't they have a few stories? Why do they always have to be brought up to like discuss how things gone too far? Why haven't we talked about how people went too far about this or that? Oh man, what a fun conversation.
We gotta have someone who completely has blue hair, tattoos all over their body, a nose ring,
Where
has
do
to
they
talk
want to
about
have
17
characters?
different kind of leftist things and political stuff. That's what's hot in games. So we have to have a game like that. And everyone wanted to have a game like that, and they were actually
But it,
selling. But
okay.
now that culture has
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid was
flipped
a
the other
brand new
way,
game.
these
Okay.
games that were in the pipeline for that are coming out too late and are too late for the trend. The perfect case in point here is South of Midnight.
See what he's conflating here? He's conflating companies that are trying to chase trends, which is like true about anything when it comes to like the genre, and not like, oh, this game has a gay character. They must be trying to chase a trend. Meanwhile, the game could have like microtransactions. That's not a trend. They're not trying to catch the life service trend. Like, why is it like when Concord came out? Remember Concord, man? Like, everyone focused on like the woke bullshit in that, and not the fact that it was chasing the trend of hero shooters so late. And people are like, well, what about Overwatch 2? Yeah, a sequel to the hit Overwatch. I mean, of course that's gonna do better than a new IP. Or like people say, well, what about Marvel Rivals? Okay, Marvel Rivals, the Marvel game, the Marvels. The Marvel IP versus a new IP, Concord, which is a bigger home brand here, right? Like he's conflating like when companies chase trends to put out a game way too late to like a game that's either an ideology or a theme that they're trying to promote in the game. But these are things that are not necessarily trend catchers, because a lot of companies would want to avoid the controversy, correct? But the only reason why these characters may have like gay characters or this is that they either had to argue or make some kind of concession, or whatever to make that happen. Again, like this is like my go-to example, because why not? Legend of Korra, again, say what you will about that show, Legend of Korra, say whatever you will, but they had to argue with Nickelodeon to have the main character be a person of color, a woman of color. Like at the start, they had to argue that, like, which is ridiculous. They should have just been able to make that show, right? They have the hit show Avatar: The Last Airbender, but yet they had to argue to make a character a woman of color. They had to argue that, because at the end of the day, nobody thinks that people would want to buy a game that has this or that in it. When in reality, the issue that these games have that they all share is either it's they don't want to spend the amount of money, or these other like issues along the way, microtransactions. There's too many hero shooters. Who cares about that? Dragon Age Veilguard being a not looking that great compared to the previous Dragon Age games. Like, all these things were going against it. Like, come on. Correct?
Okay? I played
Whatever.
2.5 hours of South of Midnight. During that time frame, I didn't see a single thing in the game that's woke. But the main character is black and female. The game takes place in the South and has that Southern drawl and those kind of themes to it, right? Like Louisiana, New Orleans, that kind of stuff. And now what's happening is, because culture has flipped the other direction, okay? People are looking at a game like that and saying, oh, that's woke crap, and I'm not going to play it. I'm not, that game's awful. You shouldn't play it either. And it's like, did you even play it?
You know what's kind of funny, correct? He was so mad about and during Hogwarts Legacy that people were going to people's streams saying, don't play this game sucks, blah blah blah, like whatever. He was mad about people doing that. And yet this guy gets a mob of people telling him that South of Midnight sucks, and he stopped playing. So he fell under the pressure. But nobody like ran to him to pressure him to stop playing Hogwarts Legacy, like, at all. And yet people like ran to him to tell him to stop playing South of Midnight, and he caved immediately. These people who were like bullying other streamers who were playing Hogwarts Legacy, they really should have gone to DSP. They would have gotten their first success on their hands. You would have stopped it immediately.
Did you?
Did you?
Because if you didn't play it, or you didn't actually watch someone play it, but you just listened to some idiot online spit vitriol towards it, then you're an ignorant asshole. That game, from the 2.5 hours that I played, was not woke in any way, shape, or form. Just being honest.
Just
The
being
game
honest.
was actually fun and interesting. It had a throwback
Oh
vibe
my
to
god, we're
games like
still
Ratchet
talking
and
about.
Clank or Jack and Daxter, kind of combined with some Sly Cooper
Okay.
in there, and even some Prince of
What?
Persia.
Yeah,
The
well, running
plot was
Prince
getting
of
interesting.
Persia.
The
Like you played
soundtrack
those
was
games, or
completely
Sly
unique,
Cooper. Like you
and
cared
I was
about
enjoying
that.
myself. But what happened was when I was playing South of Midnight, my audience on my streams told me, Phil, why are you playing this game? This game is woke. This game is crap. Everyone online says
Game is
that it's
crap.
just garbage. It's DEI nonsense. How dare you play
The
this game?
most people said about it was that it was average. Like nobody said it was crap, and also like during his crash out about Cologne, he said everyone in his chat are larpers and trolls, and he's acting as if these people who are telling him that oh it's EI crap and this that we're all being genuine and not at all trying to troll him because this dude is so specific. Like he would highlight like because of course he highlights yeah Billy says this game is woke. I don't know, man. So that's kind of telling people, oh, okay, let's go, let's fucking tell them about how woke the game is.
This game. Don't you see that the main character is black and female? That immediately must mean the game is worthless. And I'm playing the game, I'm like, what? And I
What?
called it out. If you said that, you're a bigot. You're an actual moron. You didn't play the game. You didn't judge it on its own merits. You judged it on what some dunce online, some grifting
Again,
idiot.
I looked at the chat at his chat during this. I found like one or two people that were like kind of like not a genuine people, like not that they were trolls, but they didn't have like feedback that you know I would listen to, right? The other people were just simply saying this game looked boring, basically, and that's it. That's it. A lot of people say a lot of stuff, but whatever. Oh man, well, there was like a chat post I want to read. Let's see. Bookworm says the left doesn't know what to do now that they went too far and lost the normies support. I mean, every time they okay, sure, Bookworm, like Charisma, you have to understand when people say something is woke, it means just mean it has something they hate in it. I mean, Lady Charisma kind of got it correct, guys. Because honestly, to me, the meaning of woke has lost all meaning to the point where I just kind of like it kind of came around full circle of it just being funny. Like the fact that you have like elected officials saying, we are gonna end woke" or whatever the fuck. And it's just like, what are you talking about, dude? There is no problem with the LGBTQ plus stuff, but don't force that down my throat. Oh yes, Hinker. I feel the same way when I saw Snake and Eva get it on. I was like, I don't need to see this. This is I don't need to see them fucking get that out of my face.
Idiot said, because they want to get a big mob
Whatever.
angry at this game so that they can get clickbait views and attention. All right? You can have games that don't have stereotypical leads, stereotypical ways to be played. You could still do it and do it tastefully, and the game can be good. But you
Like
have to
what?
stop being such a
Stop.
pig-headed fucking idiot. Because when you do that, you're just as bad as the people that you're trying to criticize. When you say woke is bad, but then you actually go ultra conservative, you're just as bad as the woke. Don't you get it?
Huh?
But they
Wait.
don't. I feel like people today,
Okay, let's
when you
listen
say
again.
woke is bad, but then you actually go ultra conservative, you're just as bad as the woke.
Okay, sure.
Don't you
All
get
right.
it?
Don't you
But
get
they
it?
don't. I feel like people today say, you're so bad because you did something bad. So then you do the equally bad thing just to the other direction. But you did the same thing. It's like fighting fire with fire. You can't. You can't fight fire with fire. Right? You can't take an eye for an eye because then we're all fucking blind.
Okay.
But these people are so dumb, they don't seem to understand that.
All right. Maybe I'm hungry, but like that
So it
that
just
sounds
kills me.
kind of wild.
You know? But that's how it seems to be today. And I think this will continue for a while. What's going to happen is now all these games that were being developed for, in that pipeline are going to come out. They're not going to cancel the games, but as they come out, you're going to get people who are going to come out and be pig-headed bigots about it and say, that's woke, this is crap, that's woke, this is crap. And people are going to just cancel the games and just.
So like he's saying people who are saying like, oh, that's woke and all this stuff, they go ultra conservative when they apply it to everything. But they've been saying like games are woke for years. Like they've been saying this for years, and now it's a thing. Now they're going ultra conservative. I mean, I just think this again. He could have just said it's because these YouTubers make a video and they say this game is woke and they say all this bullshit because they know it's gonna get views, and people who either don't know how to like, well, I said earlier I don't know how to word it, but it's like they either think like it's too ham-fisted or it's like a token character, but like there's no evidence. Like none of these people who are saying that this game is woke really have any evidence that they were following a checklist. They bring up Sweet Baby Inc., but it's like this is just a consultation. They don't have final say in something being developed. They just are there to be consultants. And then sure, a lot of people there you can argue, well, these are shitty people. Look at what they tweeted about. But it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm not endorsing what they tweeted, but at the same time, what do they reply to? Like, it's just all this stuff is there. It's all there, right? But, like, instead, it's just, well, they just need to understand they can't be doing this because then they're just as bad, man. But at least, like, when people are complaining about game not being woke enough or whatever, they're usually advocating for either more representation because either there's not enough of it in media, where it's just the same kind of stories or characters and not enough variety, or they're saying like, hey, this has very bad representation and it's kind of like painting people in a worse light or whatever. Like it goes in all these other directions, and you can be open to a conversation about that. But if you're gonna sit there and just complain about a game being too woke or not woke enough or whatever, like it depends on what is being said. It's all like, sometimes you just have to think about certain things. But I think at the end of the day, like South of Midnight, it just looks like a mid game, so it's not gonna get a lot of traction.
Just crap on them, and then what'll happen is ultimately things will change again. Culture will change, and it might be another 5-10 years because it does. It swings back and forth. It does. And I feel like it will. It'll swing back again. And then all of a sudden it'll be like, whoa, look at that. Look at these bigots online. Everyone will agree. And then you'll be dumb to have been in part of that group. And then it'll be just in vogue.
This dude acts as if people who say that, oh, this game is woke and all that shit are like the same people who like joined the KKK. And then over the years they're like, oh, I hope they don't find I hope they don't find the thing in the closet. Like, this is like not necessarily the same. Because one person is just like, you don't know what the other person is believing on the internet, right? But he's acting as if like doing saying this game is woke is like joining a hate mob or a hate group. It's like it's not the same, because a lot of these people are either arguing in bad faith or they are not fully like, or they perceive something that's like not necessarily true or whatever. Like it's just all these things are going on. But this is what's like annoying about this is literally have people like DSP who are doing this kind of shit. Whatever, right? Come on.
To go the other way again, I literally was calling this out for years. Didn't you remember? Don't you remember the whole pendulum thing? I've been talking about it for 2-3 years.
He only talks about the pendulum when it comes to like, he's a more aggressive with the pendulum thing now, to tell people to like say like, see guys, the pendulum swung, now it's this way. But then when it's like liberal, he's just like, yeah guys, it's a pendulum, like it, I don't know, it's just whatever. But it's always in regards to liberalism. But I can't wait until we get woke video games again, and that's cool again. I mean, I guess when the next presidential election happens, I can't wait to see what DSP's gonna say. If a Democrat wins, it's gonna be so funny. I can't wait.
And now it's all coming to fruition. Like exactly as I described it would too. It's not even like, oh, It's just kind of what Phil said or slow.
Like
No, it's
this is dumb because again, he's basing this off of fucking politics. Again, Trump won for like a lot of other reasons than just video games. Like, and this dude did a politics channel. And not once did he like really look into why this happening. He bitched about fucking inflation. And doesn't like the thing is when he was covering why Kamala lost, it was not these were not really good reasons. The closest he got to a good reason was that he brought up like how abortion is like a very like it's not a widespread issue that doesn't affect everyone. But I do think it's an important issue to bring up, sure. But it's like, you know, he didn't really have a lot to offer the voter that's gonna make them want to vote for her. But he never talks about the fact that Kamala did not really stand on her own campaign. She kind of like assured everyone that she's going to continue Biden's campaign, basically. And not a lot of people like Biden after these 4 years. Like, there's all these things that were like weighing her down. And instead of like addressing that, it was just, dude, she had Will Ferrell show up and say, vote for her or he's gonna be mad. And it's like, I don't think people went to the polls thinking about Will Ferrell. You know, I don't think that's what made people vote for Trump. Call me a libtard, but I don't think that's why they voted for Trump.
It's happening at an accelerated rate. Exactly what I said is happening. I've been through it already. We'll go through it again. It's just eras of gaming. This has happened. Seriously. The 90s were so bizarre. Everything was ultra violent, ultra sexualized, you know, over the top.
But video games are reacting to markets and to what's being sold. What is this? They're not basing this off of fucking politicians. They're not saying, oh, I mean, sure, maybe in like on a CEO level that might be the case, but that's like a different like those are made from different decisions than what is being made, etc. Come on.
Attitude Era wrestling, video games, comics were all like that. Then all of a sudden, we hit this era where everything became, no, censored, has to be more family friendly, has to be more PG era rated, has to be all this.
There's
and
still
then
M-rated games.
Culture flips again.
How is so yeah, Last of Us 2, my favorite family fucking video game. Show it to all the 6-year-olds. They love it. They're gonna love it. Like, dude, there's still violence, there's still, like, sexual content, there's like, no censorship in regards to that. The censorship people bring up is stuff that is, like, pedantic, in some cases. Like, people complain about, in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and I think they also censored it in the remake, where they gave, like, Tifa an undershirt, but it's like, she was a child, so I don't think that's a big deal. Like, we're really gonna split hairs about this? Like, they just gave her a shirt, and she was like, you know, not an adult as well. So like, this isn't a big deal. Like, what was the artistic significance before, right? Like, you know, it's completely different in regards to that. A lot of people who talk about other like meaningful censorships it's just translations and localization, and this is another thing. I'm not gonna really talk much about that because this video will be like 10 hours long at that point.
Flips again, and it keeps happening. So anyway, yeah, I do feel like right now, this is correct. I do feel like there are games that are being mistreated and not treated fairly because people are going to come at them screaming that they're woke when in reality they're not. Just because a game has a black character, a female character, takes place in a place that may not be a mainstream location, doesn't mean that it's bad or that it's woke. However, when you get a game set in a historical climate, like, let's say feudal Japan, and they decide to make the two protagonists a female ninja, of which there were probably 3 ever in history.
But there were female ninjas. I mean, I think Josh Poems like brought it up or whatever, but at the same time, who fucking cares? And okay, let's go with the narrative that there's 3, right? What if there was a 4th, right? What if she's one of the 3? What if there was a 4th one that we didn't know? Because aren't ninjas secretive? So we wouldn't really know, right? Correct? But again, it's a video game. Like, why is that a big deal? Who's playing? Like, I've never, like I've said this before, I've never heard anyone play as Creed for historical accuracy. But like, it doesn't matter. And the thing with like the samurai shit is like, if there was a black guy that was like a samurai, but they don't consider him a samurai, then maybe they're just considering the samurai to be respectful to the person that was there, that wasn't treated like a person, right? Because of racism. So they're like, well, you know, they may not consider, but we're gonna consider a samurai because, you know, fuck racism, right? Whatever.
And a black samurai, of which there never was one. There was a person who was a black samurai who was actually not a real samurai. They were just pretending to be, and was basically kind of like a belonging of one of these Japanese leaders. And then you make that the main characters of your game set in Japan when everyone's been asking you to make a Japanese culture-centric Assassin's Creed for over a decade. Yeah, that game probably fucked up. And if you want to call that out,
but how weak do you have
go
to be?
for it.
You want to feudal Japan, and then that's enough to scare you away? I mean, I would have understood if it's like, yeah, I don't like modern Ubisoft games because they're definitely different than they were in the past. But like, if that was enough, just that alone, I don't know what to tell you, man. That's kind of weak. Yeah.
But for me, ultimately,
I mean,
I
it's
don't care
Ubisoft,
about any of
man.
this stuff.
You don't
When
have
I
to
judged
think of
Assassin's
that.
Creed Shadows, did I judge it for the protagonists? No. I judged it for the fact that I played it for 9 hours and I was fucking bored to tears. The game sucked ass. It literally was boring as fuck. Okay? It was. It was just not good. It was built to be a grindy, boring
Get
mess,
it?
and I did not like it. At the same time, when I'm playing a game like South of Midnight and I'm having a good time, and everyone's telling me, well, we're not going to watch you play it or engage or support the playthrough because it's woke, and I say, no, it's not. You're
Remember when you used to say, "You don't like what I play? Leave! Get it? We don't need it here. Leave!" Now they're like saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna leave." Dude, why are you leaving? Are you racist?
a bigoted idiot. I'm going to do that. I have the right to do that. Okay? You want
can-
honesty from me.
But you
You're
stopped
in the
playing
right
the
place.
game.
That's who
The,
I
the,
am.
the
I'm not
bigots
gonna
won,
change.
Phil.
Simply because people
He's
want
saying
to
this
now.
as he dropped the game. He dropped South of Midnight. And he's like, "Yeah, man, the bigots are trying to ruin my career. I can't believe that. I have the right. That's why I'm not playing the game anymore."
Swing to the one direction all the way. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you my honest opinions on this stuff. Okay?
Also, let's watch the
Okay.
racist clips. Oh man, that was in the
You want to
past.
rewatch my top 10 racist moments that I watched in the fall? Sure. Sure, we could do that.
Yeah, it's all censored. Too.
One of them, I guess I couldn't play at all. One of them is like so extreme that it's not even on YouTube anymore.
I feel that was the
Yes, that was a countdown from
the Dead
2010 for the
Space
record, 15
clip,
years
I
ago.
think.
Anyway, let's continue. We have a couple shout outs to do, and then we're going to talk about the Switch pre-orders and Skyblivion. John and the Forced Shoehorned in Diversity.
Oh. We got more cringe coming your way.
I got a $2 tip from John Flickinger.
Okay.
I'm all for tolerance and inclusion and diversity and liberalism. The only problem I have is when art becomes unrealistic with the Abby arms and the forced shoehorned in diversity and people playing roles.
How do you know that's unrealistic, dude?
And whatnot.
Like, we don't live in a post-apocalyptic world. Why would they need to be
again,
buff like that?
There's a difference between.
But there's like a
actually
picture out
trying
there
to
I saw
represent
of a
something
woman
or gifting.
that's like basically that muscular.
There is.
Like,
if you want to have a character in your game and have representation.
I'm just gonna say this again. Who cares when you have a game with fungus people running around? Like, you can suspend your disbelief on fungus people, but a woman with muscles, that's a bridge too far. I mean, okay.
Because you feel like they're a part of real human life.
And in the
it's just
TV
natural
show,
that they're a
okay.
part of-
See, in the Last of Us TV show, the first season, they had Tess get like kissed by a fungus monster. Why the fuck was that a scene? I kind of think like, you know, I'm tired of people saying that the show is bad and they don't talk about that scene. Like, the show is bad, but nobody is discussing the stupidity of that. Tess just stands there, and then a fungus monster just kind of like kisses her. And like, and I think that someone's like, well, like you see with fungus, like, bitch, they have spores. That's how they also reproduce, right? Why do they need to be kissing? Like, well, she's gonna die anyway, so like, okay, but why, like, at that point, why don't they fuck? Why haven't we seen the cordyceps fuck? Why don't, they had the rat king in Last of Us 2, were those just a bunch of cordyceps fucking and they got, like, fused together? Is that what happened? When all these things fuck, they become the rat king? But, let's all talk about the other dumb stuff about the show. Not the scene about Tess getting kissed by a fungus monster.
Part of your game. There's no problem with that at all. Right? None. But when you're Neil Druckmann and you go out on the internet and you say, oh, by the way,
I love the guy brings up that he drew the line at Abby having muscles. DSP brings up Neil's tweet, which he apologized for, which DSP still holds accountable for, even though he apologized. The thing that DSP says you should do, you should apologize and this and that, but he still holds him to it, so it's really meaningless to apologize if you care about DSP's forgiveness.
By the way, everyone who criticizes The Last of Us 2 is a bigot, because the only real people criticizing it are people who don't like the fact that Abby's gay, that Ellie's gay, or Abby is more masculine, or there's a trans character.
What if he's talking about the people who are bigots, though? Like, what if that's who he was addressing? But okay.
That's the reason people are actually hating on the game. So anytime that you buy Last of Us 2, you're sticking it to the bigots.
He didn't say this.
Go buy it. That's great.
He didn't say this, though. He only said on Twitter to vote for The Last of Us 2 to own the trolls. He never said to buy the game to own the trolls. And then he says, like, that was a feel-good movement. Okay.
That's grifting. That's grifting to the extreme. That's grifting to a dangerous level.
So that's grifting, but we're not going to really discuss about the Quarterman videos or these other YouTubers that just literally just rage bait people into, like, getting mad. That's not grifting, right?
Not only harmful for the gaming climate, that's harmful for society as a whole, and that guy should be called out. And he was,
apologized.
By the way, and he had to publicly apologize for his statements and go back on them. At one point, he said, vote for The Last of Us 2 as the Viewer's Choice Game of the Year to stick it to the bigots, and everyone said, you are rigging the Game Awards, you incredible scumbag piece of shit.
I don't think
and
people
then he had to take back his words and apologize for them.
No, that was the thing. He said was people were bigots about was the voting thing. He like that's what he apologized for. There were not two events, but whatever. Okay.
Anyway, there's a difference between actual representation because you want to feel like this is a real human culture, or actually trying to grift with it. Druckmann's just a grifter. Anyway.
But whatever.
Let's continue here.
Okay.
Sylvester Stallone wants me to cut my hair. I believe we have haircuts coming up. Not this week because I don't have any. Maybe next week.
Oh,
haircuts
boy,
are coming up.
Haircut discussion.
The nicer it is. Well, my tip about this, and it doesn't matter.
Wait, what?
You do realize no one isn't anti-trans. She doesn't. Okay.
Oh boy.
I got a $2 tip. I wanted to clarify that J.K. Rowling isn't anti-trans. She doesn't think trans females are the same as.
She's not. Sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Biological females. It's common sense. I'm not here to argue that. I don't give a shit. Nobody cares.
How is it? Whatever. Okay.
You do realize no one cares, right?
Well, yeah.
Ultimately, that's the truth. No one. Really
Nobody
gives a shit.
cares.
It's just a bunch of.
Nobody cares. Oh man, yeah, nobody cares. Oh, okay, yeah. Let's not at all respond to that. Nobody
idiots
cares.
On the internet arguing about this, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, why would anyone care? Why would anyone care what she's
all right,
promoting?
Guys,
Right?
$30 of support so far.
It totally
we
does
got
not
some tips.
spread
We got
any,
some super chats. We
any
got
bad,
one member.
Bad things,
no
right?
subs.
Oh man.
Let's get some. Shall we do it? Come on. Let's talk. Switch 2 will take place. It's weird. April 24th.
It's weird.
But not really. Okay?
How is it weird?
It's midnight Eastern Time,
Yeah.
April 24th, which means
It is
9
April
p.m.
24th.
my time.
This is really dumb. He doesn't understand because low key Theo theory. He wants it to be based on his time because that's half the country not able to log on. That's what he wants. He wants to filter the East Coast because the reason why companies do this is because it's reasonable. Because why would they make it so that the East Coasters would have to wake up at 3 a.m. to do anything? Dude, I'd be sleeping. The only people who would be able to enjoy midnight release if everyone did that would be the West Coasters. That's why they moved to 9 p.m. for them and midnight for us, because it's reasonable. Because it's both midnight technically. Secondly, we can both have an equal chance. I mean, maybe it's still favored and West Coast favored because it's 9 p.m. But I would much rather wake up at midnight or whatever to do that than to go there at 3 a.m.
April 23rd, which is actually Wednesday. So what that means is that during my late night stream of Lego building of the Piranha plant at 9 p.m., excuse me, I'm going to try to get this console. All right? You can pre-order it at Best Buy, GameStop, Target, and Walmart. Currently, Amazon doesn't have a formal page for it, but I'm going to show.
But look though, it says Amazon US not expected to have the console, which kind of tells you that they may not get it because of I don't know. I'm assuming it's because of the tariffs. That may change now, but I kind of feel like that Amazon would not, because the way that Amazon does pre-orders is that they charge you when they ship. So I don't think it would be in their best interest to have a thing that, you know, they said it was like temporary or whatever. It's really weird, right? Correct?
I'm going to show you in a second. There is a page for it that people found and think that it's the placeholder. So maybe Amazon will have it too. But apparently, this is when the whole thing is going to be available for pre-order. All right? What I'm going to do is thus.
Okay, this is what
I
he's
am
gonna do, guys.
ahead of time going to make sure that I have accounts set up on these businesses except GameStop. Why? Because GameStop is doing it differently. They're not doing it till 11 a.m. the next day, and they're doing in-person pre-orders where you have to line up outside.
Wait, you could do in-person pre-orders at GameStop? They're doing that? Because their website doesn't say that. It said that you'd be on a mailing list. I don't know that. Whatever. Okay. I kind of like doing it in person more if you think about it.
At the store, which is really weird.
Very
They're doing
weird.
other pre-orders. I'm just not doing it that way. Okay, I'm not. All right, I'm
Okay.
going to attempt to get it through one of these other retailers. I'm gonna have accounts set up.
I gotta have accounts set up, guys. Yeah, but guess what? We're not gonna see it because he doesn't want his personal information. So this is meaningless information.
With payment information already ahead of time.
But this is not really impressive because literally you can do this anyway.
Knowing that,
he did this anyway. He had to have accounts with these businesses.
I'll be able to get in on
he
one
bought
of these
his
retailers.
first Switch from Best Buy.
Probably at like 8:58, 8:59. I'll start refreshing pages to try to find out which retailer's page will launch first. Get in, add to cart, pre-order, checkout, go.
Oh my
Will
God,
I get
hate
one
this
on
fucking...
Wednesday night?
Ugh,
Well, you'll find out live as I attempt to do this on the stream.
You know what's funny?
Okay.
What is streaming
So,
actually slows
first
it down
off,
more, so it's like an added issue.
Here is the Amazon page. Okay. And people found it. It says placeholder console 2 Nintendo Switch currently unavailable. All right. People found it, and it's not, obviously it's not live yet.
Obviously.
But people are assuming this is the page for the Switch 2 on Amazon. It's just not there yet.
What if it's for a dildo?
But each business has their own placeholder page. Here's Best Buy's. See?
Well, that's not really their placeholder page.
And there's your pricing.
Yeah, there. You click on that, and there you go.
Here's Target. See?
Oh wow! Look! I hate his like mouse movement when he does this. Yep, circle it around. Look at this. Look at this. Wee.
They're saying they'll deliver by 9 a.m. on launch day,
Man,
which
this
is
is
kind of
like
interesting.
what your teacher does in class to show
There
you
you go.
something. Whatever.
So it's going to be interesting. Oops, I'm going to show you that in a second, actually, because that's the next story. Will I be able to get a Switch 2? I don't know. Basically,
don't
I'll have a few
know.
chances. I'll try everything. I'll try Amazon, Best Buy, Target, and Walmart and try to add to cart and check out and see if I can get one.
It would be so fun if you
Live.
couldn't get it.
All right. Now,
Imagine
if
you
I
can't
don't get
it.
one, hopefully there'll still be some means to get one. I do have the Nintendo
Scalper.
account.
You know what's funny? Low key, you know what's funny though? I was thinking about this. Because he's like, I'm not supporting scalpers. But in reality, he kinda is. Think about it. The Series X, the PlayStation 5 Pro, the Switch 1, all these things he did not pay for. Someone else did. So he's supporting scalping. If anything, he got it for free. So that is still kind of bad for the company because that's a payment that they're not getting. So DSP is part of the problem. Ah, yes.
And Nintendo said that starting May 8th, they're actually going to try to offer Switch 2s direct to people who are Nintendo Online subscribers. I don't know if I've qualified or not. I am one, but I think it was something to do with you had to share your data on the console, and I don't know if I even do that. So if I don't, I'm screwed. I don't know how it works. So we'll see. So that's coming up. Now, all of the accessory prices have been increased, including, take a look at this, how insane this is, all right?
Now,
These
why
are the new
increase?
amiibos
Now,
that
you
are
may
coming.
be asking, Theo, why are these things so expensive? Why do they go up in price? Well, as you know, we have been doing trade wars because why not? And those things Nintendo decided will be the concession to keeping the Switch price the same price. They'll raise the accessories to make up for these tariffs. Now, of course, people can say this is dumb and stupid, and that's fine. That's an opinion, but you know what? That's how it be sometimes.
Coming out along with the launch of the Switch 2. $40 for the Kimberly amiibo. $40 for the Luke amiibo. $40 for the Jamie amiibo. You do realize these amiibos are tiny little figures
that also have chips in them.
That are made of plastic.
You know they have chips in them,
and they
right?
Don't actually do anything. For example, I had.
This is so dumb. These things do things. It's that they don't do enough because guess what? Nintendo doesn't want these things to be like mandatory because they probably don't want parents to like not buy Nintendo products anymore. Because they probably were like, this is a little too much if you start forcing games to use toys like Skylanders. Because again, look at Skylanders. What happened to that? Because nobody wants to buy these. These being optional, I think, is probably better than anything else because you don't need to buy them to enjoy video games. Isn't that cool?
The Wolf Link amiibo from Twilight Princess. And if you put it onto your Wii U pad, it would give you meat in Zelda.
Guess what? Wrong. In the Wii U, the only games on the Wii U, by the way, is Zelda that use the amiibo, Twilight Princess, and Breath of the Wild. In Twilight Princess, the Wolf Link amiibo gave you access to a special dungeon that nobody liked. It was a waste of time, so there you go. And in Breath of the Wild, you would summon the wolf to be a companion. That is literally what it was used for. They downgraded it for Tears of the Kingdom because they probably realized they can have like all these like summons that they had and the Wolf Link were all running at the same time. So they probably were like, well, it'll just give them good meat. And there you go. That's what it did. Literally, that's what it did. And this dude is sitting there like, yeah, it did nothing, man.
That's it. That's all it did. These Street Fighter amiibos, I believe, all they do is they do something to do with your avatar in the single player part of Street Fighter 6. They don't give you any kind of competitive advantage in the game. They don't give
This is dumb because you know for a fact if they did, he'd bitch about it.
Get this, guys. Nintendo making amiibos, and they give you an edge in gaming. Now, what if you're like, you can't afford amiibos and you want to play the game? Well, too bad, little Timmy. Sally bought 5 million amiibos and they win the game.
But you know what the other funny thing is? The amiibos actually did help me in Tears of the Kingdom. I just used the grind for money. That was my money grind hack. I was just, alright, but all the amiibos there, okay, sell all this stuff, sell it. Or cook it all.
Give you anything of value. Okay? So, are you going to pay this much? Here's the other new ones. The Zelda ones are $30, as you can see.
I don't have to. I don't have to, Phil. I could just not do it. But these are going up because of fucking tariffs.
And Tulin. Those are the
like,
four
Nintendo
heroes
openly said that.
Of
but whatever,
Breath of the Wild,
okay.
Which is hilarious that they were completely forgotten about and written out of the sequel. I found that hilarious.
What?
4 heroes of Breath of the Wild. Which is hilarious that they were completely forgotten about and written out of the sequel.
No! No! They were in the sequel! You talked to them in the game! They were all part of that story. How are they written? This dude is so stupid. This dude needs to eat some Brits or something. I don't know. This dude, man, he really loved that game.
I found that hilarious.
No, it's funny.
Yeah, so
how much you forgot about it. They were in the game.
Oh, they do.
They were in the game.
Like some arrows or something.
I can't get over it.
What do you need them for? You don't.
Oh my god.
They don't do anything. Okay, they're not
statues. They were ran out of the game. Okay.
They're not high quality.
Is that why you talk to them
figurines.
about
whatever? Do you believe me? Do you need to show you?
He really hates amiibos. It really is like amiibos like killed his dog or something.
I went bankrupt because of the Wolf Link amiibo.
Okay, wow.
It's a tiny little plastic figurine.
That has an electronic
now, it
chip
does scan
inside.
Into your Switch using a chip that's in the base.
Oh, you do know there's chips.
This is all it is.
Wow.
It's not super high quality. It's okay. It's not. It's
Dude,
decent.
how much did the Agramus thing cost?
But does this look like it's worth $40? You want to know the truth? This isn't even worth $5. This probably takes 50 cents to manufacture. Over in China, by the way.
Yeah,
made in China.
Yeah, it's made in China. Now, what is going on with China, Phil? What's going on? So, like, sure, King Trump, Papa Trump, decided to delay the insane tariffs he did for 90 days. And you look at that, and you're like, okay, but we still have a 10% tariff regardless. However, if you like, followed along here, the only country that is exempted from this pause is China, of course. And they in fact, have a crazy high tariff. That is, 145%? And I'm sure it's gonna get higher. So guess what? It is not just 10 cents anymore, because they have to go and sell these things in America where we have these crazy tariffs. This is why there's been a problem. Do you know this, Phil?
Yep, says right on the bottom, made in China. Which is why the prices are skyrocketing on amiibos because of the tariffs.
We don't like
now have in the United States. $40 for an amiibo that takes 50 cents to manufacture.
But
seriously.
DSP.
The tariffs.
Yeah. So, but I love he's saying this, but he's blaming Nintendo. Like, what's Nintendo supposed to do? Were they supposed to convince Trump to not do it? Well, he's not going to listen to them. He's like, you're not the president of America, Nintendo. You are a piece of shit, and we want to have these trade wars so we can bring manufacturing someday in America, and it's gonna be a boom.
Everyone loves this idea. Booms and jobs. Jobs. I love saying the word jobs. I can't do a Trump impression. Sucks. I wish I could. I wish I could do better impressions. The only impression I'm like whatever on is DSP's fucking impression.
You know what I find really funny? Nintendo manufacturing stuff in China. Are you aware that for the longest time, China and Japan were like heated enemies in history?
Heated enemies?
These companies absolutely hated each other. And now...
Companies? You mean countries, right? You realize that, like, just because historically that these countries may not have gotten along doesn't mean that people in those countries go along with that too, right? I mean, sure. I mean, I'm sure there are, like, people who do, but, you know, not everyone is a sheep. And all that, correct? So, obviously, Nintendo may not be so above anything that they'll say, well, we can work with other people to manufacture things on a wide scale. You know?
Oh, Nintendo, who claims that everything they make is better than everyone else's stuff, that they are...
Nintendo never made this claim. They never said that what they make is the best. They literally just are saying, we made this and we love it. We believe in what we make. That doesn't mean that they think that there's the best and everyone else sucks. It just means simply they believe in what they make. Just like you believe that your content is so good. Just like that, right? I love that he's mocking Nintendo for having pride for their craft, but it is ridiculous when people make fun of DSP for saying that his content is meaningful and positive.
They are, you know, culturally superior, that, you know what I'm saying? They're xenophobic, that now they manufacture all their shit in China.
They never said this.
That's just funny as
and
hell.
That's like
anyway.
Stupid too. It's, you know, whatever. Okay, Phil, you just really wanted to make that point.
So
that is like really stupid.
Yeah.
That's
not worth $40. That's not worth $30. I would argue that's where I would probably pay $5 and be
of course, $5 undersell it.
This is like a knick-knack you would buy.
I'm sorry. That is stupid. $5? You're telling me that would be $5? That is insane. I mean, $10 maybe, but I think 20 is fine. I think 20 was a decent price. 15, you know, fine. 15, 20, I think is a good price. $5, like, somebody's not getting paid with that price.
Buy when you're at like on a vacation. Like you go to Disneyland and you go to their souvenir shop and you buy a little figurine. But when you're at Disneyland, okay, you're getting a souvenir of your trip. Like it's supposed to be like, oh, I went to Disneyland and I bought this figure of Mickey, and whenever I look at it now, it reminds me of this awesome trip I had to Disneyland with my family or my friends or my significant other.
Oh my god. Yeah, I bought this thing so I could think about this and remember the good times. Dude, sometimes people buy things because it looks cool. It's come on, it's not that deep.
That's the significance of buying a souvenir. This is not a souvenir.
I'm afraid this will be another for our video, guys. I have one fear.
Nintendo is making 70,000% profit off of because you're an idiot.
How do you know that?
They laugh at you behind your back when you buy this. Make this clear. Do you really think that the people at Nintendo of Japan think that this is a good investment?
Okay, you know what? Do you be saying all this stuff and how they're greedy and this and that? Then he should buy from a scalper then. Fuck that, right? Why should he line the pockets of Nintendo? He should buy the Switch 2 from a scalper. Right?
Actual value to the consumer? No. You know what they say?
What was value to...
Let's get our happy
I love
fun...
that he's saying that there's no value, but then someone says, oh, I have value. Yeah, man, value is in the eye of the beholder. But then, man, if you tell him his content is valueless and meaningless and stupid, you're an idiot. His content saves lives. But Nintendo making these little figures that people can find their own value in or not buy or whatever, fuck you, idiot.
Fun money today. Our zany, you know, our zany fantasy money from stupid idiots. Let's sell these little figures that have no value.
He bought
and watch
fucking
the profits
cards.
roll in because they're so stupid.
Of course, it's all about value. value. But you realize some amiibos like go out of print, right? Sometimes, but whatever. Secondly, the other thing is, I love that he's talking about value. Like, it would mean something if it was coming from a person who actively like sells and all that collectibles, but DSP doesn't do that. So it doesn't matter. Yeah, the cards may have value, but do you think DSP is gonna sell those cards in a meaningful level? No. He would go to a pawn shop and eat whatever rate that they'd give him, and lose the potential value that those WB cards may have. But this guy is gonna tell you that this will not have any value because it won't get valuable over time. But it doesn't matter, because DSP, you don't do this, so why does it matter to you if it's valuable or not? Right?
No, I didn't buy this. This came for free with the Wii U version of Twilight Princess many years ago. I did not buy this. I've never bought an amiibo, and I never will. They're completely worthless.
I mean, they're completely optional.
Like, I can see,
whatever.
all right.
Oh,
my
now we can
favorite
see.
character of all time is Kirby. So I
Well,
went and I bought the Kirby amiibo.
You know, he loves Yoshi, and there is amiibos of Yoshi, so he should buy one, right? Correct?
And I have a collectible in my room, or I have a setup, and I put it behind me in my setup, and that's, okay. You bought the one. All right, that kind of makes sense.
But what
Maybe
if I have
you
multiple
play Street Fighter 6, your favorite character is
characters?
Jamie, and it's the only character you play, and that you want to have a little collectible of Jamie, and you spend $40 on that collectible? All right, maybe that makes sense, but make no mistake, those amiibos will sell out. Those amiibos will 100%
Yeah, but they're gonna
be
keep
sold the fuck.
But the thing is, these will be like printed continuously. These are not the same market as a fucking figure, dude. It's an amiibo. It's not like, guys, I bought this. I don't know if you can even see this because the green screen is so good, right? But I got that Igus figure. I got a Dizzy Nendroid. But these things are probably a little more like pricier now, more than ever. But these things go out of print. Amiibos, anyone could buy them at any point, any time in life. I don't have to buy Jamie day one.
Fuck out the moment they go on sale. Idiots will run and spend $40 fucking on a tiny little figurine like this. It's a weird thing going on in human culture right now. Anything collectible is overpriced. I talked about it on Smart Guys the other night.
Weird thing in culture.
That the WWE
collectibles are expensive. Dude, you realize that that these things are required to be made, right? They just don't exist in the realm of reality. They have to be made. So someone has to take the time to know what to make it, sculpt it, paint it, all this shit, right? And then they have to sell it. And that's going to cost money. Ah, yes.
That I have over there? They cost $70 a box now. $10 a pack. That means $2.50 a card. It's a piece of cardboard. It's not even like a figurine that has value. It's a piece of cardboard.
Remember when I wanted to play with the Wolverine?
It's weird.
But
I don't know what's going on. And the thing is, again, just like
Whatever.
we were talking about the pendulum swinging,
Wait, what?
a figurine that has value. They cost $70 a box now. $10 a pack. That means $2.50 a card. Weird. I don't know what's going on. And the thing is, again, just like we were talking about the pendulum swinging back and
I was
forth,
talking about the Labo
this
for a
changes
sec.
in human culture. Sometimes collectibles like this are very valuable. Right now, they're at an all-time high.
But
and sometimes
amiibos
they just
are not.
completely
Oh my
die out.
god!
For example,
it's
in the 90s,
different.
all
It's a
collectibles were
different
super expensive.
market.
Cards, comic books, figurines.
And again,
Remember,
all these things are gonna go up in price. Like, dude, there's companies that are like saying to people, like, I mean, I know this because Rocco from Mega64 posted this on Twitter, saying that like they got that this figure company said, yeah, these tariffs are gonna make our figures cost more money. Like it's not gonna be a good time to be a figure collector. Because these things happen. But he's saying that like this is some ulterior motive from Nintendo. Dude, these amiibos are just little things that are optional. That's probably why, honestly, if you think about it, this is probably why Nintendo was more willing to upsell or increase the price on that before the Switch 2. Because guess what? Guess which one is more like a thing people will buy. And they're probably hoping that enough people buy the Switch 2 that they can make their money back on it.
Remember troll dolls or wishnicks, they were
Trap.
called in some cases?
Oh my
They
god.
die out. For example, in the 90s, all collectibles were super expensive. Cards, comic books, figurines. Remember troll dolls or wishnicks, they were called in some
Troll
cases?
Dallas. See, that Dallas was such a hard AH. Like, it went hard. Like, it was really like he wanted to double down on the meme of him saying Dallas frag.
For example, in the 90s,
Gotta hear
all
this again.
collectibles were super expensive. Cards, comic books, figurines. Remember troll dolls or wishnicks, they were called in
Dolls.
some cases? Cabbage Patch Kids. Remember
He
Tickle
knew
Me
the
Elmo?
Troll Dolls alternate
Remember all that
name?
shit?
What the fuck?
And then do you remember in the 2000s the whole market? Oh, Beanie Babies. Anyone remember Beanie Babies?
But
and
these
how
are
they were valuable?
different instances.
And then in the 2000s, the market crashed.
This
And
is
all of
different.
the
This
physical
is
collectible
different.
stuff was worth absolutely nothing. It all just went to flea
It's
markets.
not the
People were trying to sell it on
same.
eBay at pennies on the dollar. No
These
one could
are
make their money
different
back because no one
things.
wanted it.
Beanie Babies was made to
And
be
now
a
here we are,
scam.
20 years later, and
Figures
human
are
culture has flipped
different.
again. And now everyone wants this knick-knack
Oh.
tchotchke shit again. For some bizarre
This
fucking
is
reason. I don't get
different,
it.
Not the
And
same.
then what'll happen is it'll change again. It will. It will flip again. Within another 10, 15
Oh my
years.
god, he goes
It's
on
very,
this for
very
so
odd
long.
human nature. It really is.
Human nature is so weird. Let me just put this away. Not in the background or in the trash. Let's put it in the closet. Let's put it in the closet.
All right, guys. Well,
So we already know
Yes,
that
my
he's
hair's all
gonna
sticking up
find
again.
that
I'm
in
gonna
the
have to brush
closet
it.
cleanout
I don't know
stream,
what's-
and he's
yeah,
gonna
look.
bitch about it again.
Our final story for today that I would like to cover. All right.
Okay. This one I was not intending to cover, by the way, but this one he really wanted this to be negative.
So we talked
It's
about this
kinda
last week.
wild.
Okay, that it has leaked that an official Oblivion remaster has been made and might shadow drop as early as tomorrow. Okay,
Yeah, it's gonna
we might
airdrop-
actually see
airdrop.
a
Yeah, the
shadow
airdrop.
dropping
Shadow
Oblivion
dropping. That
remake
sounds
this
like some
week.
kind
And
of
if
shit.
that's the case,
Yeah.
and you guys
So,
want to see me
you said
try
you
it, I
had,
might have to
a
like
shadow
shuffle my
dropping?
schedule around a little
Hmm,
bit to at
sounds
least
like
give
you
it a
got-
shot. I'm not
you
gonna
got
be a full through of it
infested.
now, but maybe just
Yeah,
like,
an
once to see what it's
infestation.
like.
You need to get like taken
But
care
the
of.
makers of Sky Oblivion, a modder group who's basically modding Oblivion to work in the graphics and the world of Skyrim, essentially. Okay?
Okay.
They've come out with an official statement.
Right.
Here is that statement.
All right.
God damn it, this sucks. Okay, that's not the statement. Here's their official statement. We've been following the buzz surrounding an official remaster of Oblivion.
Okay.
As dedicated Elder Scrolls fans, we are incredibly excited at this proposal and sincerely hope the information proves accurate. The glimpses we've seen look fantastic, and we eagerly anticipate the possibility of experiencing a modern, professionally developed return to Cyrodiil. Bethesda
Right.
has always been supportive of community projects like ours, and we don't see that changing anytime soon. As a PC mod, a console release is impossible for us. So the remaster presents a wonderful opportunity for console players to re-experience Oblivion, something our project could never directly provide. So, in summary, in other words, well, in the past, Bethesda never stopped mods, so hopefully they won't now. However, Bethesda's now owned by Microsoft. So I think
But then why wouldn't they cover like? So they can't retroactively go after other mods? Whatever. Like, I know what he's getting at, but this is like basic fear mongering. Like, I think people at Sky Oblivion like understand that they could get a cease and desist, and sure, this could be a response to that. But I also think they are just like saying like, you know, hey, support what you want. We will still like be making the mod. Don't worry. Don't you worry, guys.
so. I think that they may be way off base here. And then they're saying, well, our mod will never work on.
Wait, what?
Hopefully they won't now. However, Bethesda's now owned by Microsoft. So I think that they may be way off base here.
How are they off base? They're saying like they have a precedent of being cool with mods. So they're saying that we don't feel bad because these people should still like be cool with it, because as far as we know, not everyone that worked at Bethesda is not there anymore. I mean, I'm sure there's people who left, obviously, but I you know, come on.
And then they're saying, well, our mod will never work on console anyway. So this whole Oblivion remake that they're selling will still have an audience, even if they allow our mod to come out. Do you want to know the truth? I think that they are vastly underestimating the level of danger they are in right now.
He really likes fear-mongering
As I said last
people.
week, if I were them, I would be crapping
They love
bricks
seeing like the
that they're
internet's
going to get a cease and
dad.
desist order from Bethesda any day now, if this rumor is true about the official remaster.
Wouldn't they have done it by
Anyway,
now,
continuing
though?
on. We want
Why
to
would they wait
emphasize that there
now?
is no need for comparisons or
Whatever.
a sense of competition between Sky Oblivion and a potential official remaster. Literally, there will be side-by-side comparisons the moment.
They can't police that. They're just saying that you don't need to compare it because, like, you know, come on. You're comparing a mod to this, like, whatever. It's just a general statement. He's like, oh, they're gonna compare it. Okay.
The moment that they're available. Sky Oblivion is a labor of love. Oh, sorry, I skipped a sentence.
They're
Both
saying that
projects
so
can
that
exist and
people
thrive
know
together, offering unique
that they're not
experiences
doing this
for
out of
players.
spite or whatever
Sky
the fuck.
Oblivion is a labor of love built by a dedicated community for the community, offering a distinct way to revisit Oblivion within the familiar framework of the creation engine. Similarly, an official remaster would undoubtedly bring its own set of advancements with the full funding of a development studio. We see this not as a conflict, but as a fantastic opportunity for
Like,
Elder
honestly,
Scrolls
they don't
fans
have to make
even
this
more ways
statement.
to enjoy the
It's
classic
a
world of
mod,
Cyrodiil.
right?
That entire paragraph is cope. It's all
Cope.
coping. And it's very bad coping at that. We extend our gratitude to our incredible...
I just love he's shitting on these people for really no reason. Just saying that, oh, they're scared. They can get a cease and desist. They're saying this, oh, they're off base. They don't understand. Microsoft is gonna kill them. Like, I have heard more litigious things about Nintendo than Microsoft. And then, sure, Microsoft, you know, it's Microsoft. But this dude is acting as if, like, they're gonna get the Microsoft ninjas after them. Like, okay.
incredible community for their unwavering
And
support.
then I love that he's saying it's cope. It's bad cope that they're saying that they're making this mod out of labor of love for the community for people to experience the game, and one is made by a studio that will have their own advances because they're the bigger guy. But that's bad cope. Like, this is what I mean when I say the gaming news segments has always been negative. It's like it's like it would kill him if he was like, "Well, guys, the Sky Oblivion made a statement trying to reassure people that they're still gonna make this mod, and they hope that Microsoft does not shut them down, and they're being very like open to having both coexist." That's like really positive. But no, that would be lying, obviously, because if you're being positive, you're a liar. When you're negative, you're being honest. Obviously.
Enthusiasm and patience throughout our development journey. Your passion fuels our dedication. We also want to cheer on the talented game developers and at Virtuos and any other teams potentially involved in bringing an official Oblivion remaster to life. We recognize the immense effort and artistry that goes into such a significant undertaking. Ultimately, 2025 promises to be a remarkable year for fans of Oblivion. We're confident that players will be true winners, having the opportunity to experience both the community-driven reimagining and a professional modern version of the beloved game.
He summarized it at the beginning.
Look forward to sharing more about Sky Oblivion's progress soon as we approach its release later this year.
This dude is unreal. Okay, so
here's the thing.
Then he goes on to read it.
Here's my take.
Okay, what's your
I
take?
wish them the best.
Oh.
I hope that things go according to their plan.
Uh-huh.
I do hope they get to release Sky Oblivion.
Okay.
And I do hope that it does get a whole bunch of support. But Bethesda is owned by Microsoft, and Microsoft are a bunch of corporate suits. And Microsoft, if they put all this time and money into getting...
You realize they don't have to be that way,
an official remaster of Oblivion made, there's absolutely, positively no way that they're going to allow someone else to use their IP, even if it's a mod or not.
But it's stuck on one platform. It's stuck on one platform, one. Two, the remaster, whatever the fuck that the actual company is doing, is gonna be on more platforms. Thirdly, in order to run the mod Sky Oblivion, you have to own Oblivion, so they'll still get money. It doesn't matter. And Oblivion's an old game. If they want to sell the new game, you're saying they're going off of get it from the people who made the game. Like, they already have a leg up on selling this remaster. Like, the mod is not gonna take people away from it. Like, this is like the same debate about piracy. Like, piracy doesn't really take away support from anything. Like, come on now, dog.
Because it's going to take sales away of their official remake. It just is. All right? If you can get Skyblivion completely for free on PC.
Dude, talking about these people
right?
installing any mod.
And let's say Skyblivion actually is better than the official remake. Why would you buy the official remake? Can you name one reason why you would buy Oblivion Remastered?
It's not a knockoff.
On PC or console, if Skyblivion is free,
why don't you play
just as good, if not better?
Game? Because you want to play games from the actual FromSoft games.
And Microsoft ain't gonna let that fly.
How do you know?
In my opinion,
Skyblivion, I don't think is the first mod to do this.
Maybe you know Microsoft better than I do. I see a cease and desist in the future. Being honest.
Oh my god.
Let's be honest. The Oblivion remake.
Dude, when it happens, if it does happen, this dude is gonna go May 1st mode. See, guys, I told you, they're gonna sue them.
Is probably gonna sell for $40, if not more. But I would say minimum $40. Right now, you could probably buy Skyrim at a huge discount, right? And that is what you're gonna mod to play Skyblivion. And it's probably gonna be cheaper than that.
But
and most people probably already own Skyrim anyway. We're gonna play, Skyblivion, so they're not gonna buy it again. As opposed to the Oblivion remake needs to be fully purchased. So, yeah, I'm being honest.
Yeah, but I can't mod it on console.
But
who cares?
They're in trouble. I could be wrong.
Why would they be in trouble?
Fact, I hope I am wrong. How about that? I actually
oh my god, what a take. I hope I am wrong.
I hope that Skyblivion comes out and we can all enjoy it. The Oblivion remake comes out and we can enjoy it. Really. But
yeah,
I'm not feeling
too
positive about it.
Why do you care? You're not playing it.
Them, but I mean, you're talking about a decade of work down the drain.
A decade of work.
And they have the legal right to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That would suck.
Yeah,
FF9000, thanks for a highlighted message on Kiki says Happy Easter, Phil.
The remake
Happy
is
Easter to you, FF. Okay.
Skyblivion on ice. On thin ice.
Oh, let's see what's on your mind.
Okay.
This is a fifth of our goal. Let's do streaming week with all of you. Racing in Minecraft, I don't have with my wife because I don't know how to enable ray tracing in the game.
All right, I give up. I'm not gonna bother with this. I don't know if there's anything else, but I don't care. Let's go do a vibe check on the live stream.
Right here every day anyway.
Oh god. Oh my god. I want to put the chat away. I want to do the cold open. Let's just see what he has to say. I don't think he did I don't think he's doing a new segment. He's probably just sitting there like...
Good morning, everyone. It's time for a very abridged show because today this is a shortened podcast to make way for a ginormous Smart Guys Super Show. For the first time ever, I'll be doing wrestling commentary for a full 4 straight hours on today's show.
Wild. I thought it said Phil
I'm very excited. I hope that you guys are excited as well.
Like I thought it was like some
good
weird
stuff coming up.
Phil in
now,
pajamas.
In regards to this, we have to have a very short show. It's only going to be about a half an hour to maybe 40 minutes long. So I hope that you guys are excited for that. And then we're going to jump into wrestling commentary for the rest of the stream. So thank you all for watching.
Oh my god.
Let's get started with a very abridged but interesting episode of the Level 1 in your stream belonging to someone else. Wrong. Obviously, this is my own stream. And like I said, no restreamer detractor would be able to claim this first. It's live. You see what I'm saying? So YouTube is erroneously matching something on this stream to someone else's.
What?
It doesn't make any sense. It's an error. But what is it matching? It's matching content right now. That's just me talking to you. So this makes no fuck to see, oh, does this match something that's in our database? Today is, everyone. I hope that you guys only have a couple things to talk about. I'm going to reserve them until that show. Of Elder Scrolls Oblivion is coming out supposedly this week. At least that's what it seems like everyone is saying.
He said tomorrow. Now it's this week.
And I'm curious, when it'll come out. We're going to find out. Okay. Yeah, we got to talk about to test it. I did love it, except for the before Skyrim. Been 2 years. Bethesda. bar and it turned stream on kick. I thought I had turned off all shortcuts on, but it doesn't make any sense. It stops the what's going on. That stream. Okay. This could pop. So
this is kind of funny thing.
Modern Minecraft in 20 made it. Which here's what's happening: food and then explosion approached me in the cave. I go back to the cave items. They eventually change, but even then, there's dark edges. About WrestleMania myself. Then is getting claimed. The shirt, the Philomania shirt. When by the
my God, it's the shirt. But that has Philomania too.
Wait, it says Philomania right next to me. I don't know. Like I said, the only way to know what's actually getting claimed is after the stream
there
goes
is
off
gaming news.
11 a.m. Eastern time, which is 8 a.m. Pacific time. Bethesda is going to hold a live stream, and that live stream about this tomorrow. What's going on with the camera? He's sake. All right. He's scheduled. Obviously, this is what's going on.
Okay.
You do this. Outside of that, Blueprints have chill. All right. That's our next night. Report how it goes. End of the way. It says I think it's a glitch that's saying this. The internet and from the shirt. See what after that can be a second here.
All right, he is away.
All right.
Oh my God, he changed his shirt. Was he gonna change his shirt each time he changed?
First Mania was Mania at the show. So right now,
but why would
so much?
Wouldn't this get also claimed because it's Stone Cold, an actual whatever? All right, that is it for this video. Thank you for watching. It was a bumpy one, but it wasn't bad. I think it's a solid video. You can watch it. That is it. Thank you for watching, and I feel sorry for anyone who is gonna watch the entirety of the wrestling podcast, because I know I'm not. But have fun and see you next time. Bye.